So last class we are discussing the border disputes, India-Bangladesh border disputes. Okay, so three issues were there regarding border disputes. One is the enclaves. So some of the Indian villages are within Bangladesh territory, and some of the Bangladesh villages are within Indian territory. So like that we had some issue, and the second issue was regarding Beriberi Union. So now after giving the Tin Biga territory, we have now taken over the Beriberi Union. Okay, so that is settled. And third one is adverse possession. Okay, unwantedly we were holding some of the Bangladesh land, like that Bangladesh was holding some of our lands. Okay, so because of the riverine border. Okay, so river, most of the area, West Bengal and Bangladesh, mostly in that area, you have to note that river is the border. So river meanders and migrates and flows in different direction depending upon the water supply. Boundary also changes. So these were the problems we were discussing. And then next we have to enter into the water dispute. Okay, so again regarding river water sharing dispute, we are having three issues are there with respect to Bangladesh, India-Bangladesh. So the first issue is the Ganga river water problem. So we all know that Ganga flows through the Gangetic plain in India and enters Bangladesh. Okay, and then later it joins Brahmaputra also, Meghna. Okay, so but what happened is when Bangladesh had in Bangladesh, when we had an unfriendly government during Ziaur Rahman's period, what we did is, here we have built one particular barrage. That barrage is called Faraka barrage, and diverted all the water to the Hooghly river, where our Haldia port is there. Haldia port is the Kolkata's port. Kolkata's port is a riverine port, not like Visakhapatnam or Chennai port. Okay, so you have to note that this Hooghly river often affected by siltation because of less water. So that's why what Indian government did is, Indian government built this Faraka, F-A-R-A-K-K-A, Faraka. We built that particular barrage and diverted all the Ganga water into Bangladesh. I mean, which is about to get into Bangladesh, now it is coming into West Bengal. Okay, so because of that, the water inflow into the Bangladesh side of part of river is not there. Okay, so because of that, agriculture is getting into trouble, industries, drinking water, ecology, fishes, everything got into trouble. Okay, so this is what happening. But what happened is, when Sheikh Hasina was the leader of Bangladesh in 1996, we have settled for a deal. The deal is called Ganga river water sharing dispute. Ganga river water sharing dispute. In 1996, we settled this issue. 1996, we settled for a 30-year deal. 30 years deal. Okay, so that means 1996 we have signed a means. Again, after 30 years, that means by 2026, after 5-6 years, we have to again renew this particular deal. According to this 1996 Ganga river water sharing treaty, both India, you can write like this, as per the treaty, both India and Bangladesh will share the water 50-50 on rotational basis. 50% of water belongs to us, 50% of the water belongs to Bangladesh. 50-50 rotational basis. What is that rotational basis? See, first 15 days, we can divert our water, we can do whatever we want with the water. But the second 15 days, we have to let the water without any block to Bangladesh. We should not block the water. Okay, so first 15 days belongs to us, second 15 days belongs to Bangladesh. So 50-50, 50% on rotational basis, we have settled the problem. Okay, so it is a 30-year deal. Why we did not go for a permanent deal? See, Indus Water Treaty was also signed in 1960s, 1958-60. We will discuss that later during Pakistan. Okay, but Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan, with our enemy country, we have settled for a final, a single treaty. That means a final treaty. But this treaty is 30-year deal. Why we are going for a 30-year deal? Very simple. See, issue number one, we don't know what will happen to Ganga river after 30 years in 1996. See, Kaveri, earlier and all Kaveri water was there, it will overflow most of the time. During the rainy season, it will overflow. In other season, at least some water will be going. But nowadays, you see, no water is there. Only during flood, only water is coming. Okay, unless there is a flood, excess rainfall, then only river water in that river water is coming. So anything may happen to the rivers. So that's the understanding. Anything may happen to the rivers. So only so periodically we have to renew the particular date. That is number one. And number two, by having a limited term period, we can ensure that Bangladesh will always behave properly with India. Because Bangladesh already we know have a tendency of having a love-hate relationship with India. So Sheikh Hasina's period, they will be very good with India. Kalidas Zia's period, they will be opposite to India, because based on that means the counter wave only they will come to power. So that's why in order to ensure that Bangladesh will always be properly behaving with India, or Bangladesh will not do anything against the interest of India, we are going for this 30-year deal. So this is the assumption. This is not in the deal. So this is our assumption. Okay. Otherwise, we can go for a full deal. We did not go for a full deal. Why we did not go for a full deal? Because Bangladesh have to be very good with India. So this is checks and balances. We are putting a check on Bangladesh. Every 30 years, again, they have to come to India. Okay. So if Bangladesh is not behaving properly, means we will not share the Ganga river water. Okay. So actually, we have to share the water with Bangladesh. So now we are doing it. So this Ganga river water problem is settled, a settled issue, okay. And then the second issue is this Teesta river. This Teesta river, you see, this Teesta river source is somewhere near this Kanchenjunga in Sikkim. After Sikkim, it enters into West Bengal, and then after passing through the Jalpaiguri district, it enters into Bangladesh. So again, what happened is the state government have built a lot of dams here, and they are diverting the water into West Bengal. So Bangladesh again want a treaty with India like Ganga water treaty. So they want Teesta river water sharing treaty like Ganga water, like 50-50 on rotational basis, like that. They also want a treaty. Central government is ready to sign the treaty. So that means the previous Manmohan Singh government was also ready. The present Modi government is also ready to settle. I am not telling we are immediately we are doing it, but we want a settlement with Bangladesh. But the state government is against that. Mamata Banerjee government is against that. Okay. So I think this Teesta river water may be a local political issue. Okay, we don't know. Okay, state government is against Indian government signing this international agreement to share the Teesta river water problem. Central government wanted to sign. See, I am asking you a simple question. See, I am an Indian. I belong to Tamil Nadu. I have no that means I don't have no interest in Teesta river. But yet, if you ask me, means because West Bengal people are my own brothers, I will support West Bengal people. That I will say that after convincing West Bengal people only, we have to go for a deal. Okay, so that means what West Bengal people are telling. Like that only I will ask. Then only I will take a decision. You or myself, I am telling. This is the general trend. But the central government wanted to sign a deal. But state government is against that. That means the local population is against that. That is the understanding. So central government is also the government for West Bengal also. Even though some other opposition parties ruling the state, that doesn't mean that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not the Prime Minister for West Bengal or for Tamil Nadu. So what I am telling is, when state aspiration is like that, then why central government wanted to sign a deal? See, very simple. This is to protect the India's national interest. Why means because if we are not giving water to Bangladesh, means then it will become an opportunity for some elements in Bangladesh to turn the Bangladeshi people's mind against India. Okay, so Kalidas Zia may come into power. If Kalidas Zia comes into power, means she will do everything against the interest of India by aligning with Pakistan or with China. So to protect our national interests, for national security reason, when Sheikh Hasina, who is the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, is there, we wanted to appease her, because otherwise she will be under pressure in their country. So because what they are telling to Sheikh Hasina is, you are only friend of India, then go and get water from India. Like that, she is under pressure. Okay, so she have to run the politics, there in Bangladesh. So if opponent is there, means we can openly say we will not give water. But so if somebody is our friend, then if the friend is coming and asking, we can't say simple no, I won't give the water. Okay, so all she wants is a fair share. Okay, so that is the problem with central government. So that's why what I'm telling is, this is a classic example of how regional politics or regionalization affects foreign policy. Okay, so like that, whenever India have to take a decision with respect to Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu politics will put pressure on central government. So in Indian foreign policy towards Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu politics will be there. In Indian foreign policy towards Pakistan, Jammu Kashmir's politics will dictate terms. Okay, so classic example of how regional parties or regionalization, the regionalism affecting Indian foreign policy. Okay, Bangladesh, India, Bangladesh relation means West Bengal state plays a vital role. India, Sri Lanka means Tamil Nadu plays a vital role. India, Pakistan means Jammu Kashmir states plays a vital role. So this you can quote it for example. Okay, so anyway, West Bengal government is very clear now that they doesn't want to share the water. They are against this Tista river. Okay, but Bangladesh government is putting pressure. So recently what happened is 2 days, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a news that Bangladesh got some kind of loans from China to build dams over Tista river in Bangladesh's part. Later this Tista river goes and joins Brahmaputra and Ganga. Okay, so now China's interest is there. So India is not giving water. China is helping Bangladesh in building dams. So the tide is changing against India, and that too after the CAA Act, this Citizenship Amendment Act. You have to note that the people from Assam and also from Tripura and also some parts of West Bengal, they are against any group of people coming into India. Actually, CAA protest is against the central government is because among the religious groups, 6 religious groups, so you have to note that we have excluded Muslims. That was the main contention. But these people are telling, particularly the people of Assam are telling, we don't want any religious groups outside to come into our territory. Like that they are protesting. Their protest is completely different. Okay, so this is a serious political issue and livelihood issue for West Bengal people, and similarly the livelihood of the Bangladesh government also, people also. Okay, so this Tista river water problem is a pending problem. That too, now after this Chinese intervention in the Tista river, now this becomes more important. Otherwise, what China will do is China will block the Brahmaputra river water. So when we dictate terms with Pakistan, see last time Pakistan was sponsoring terrorism. Everybody know this. Okay, and because of the Uri attack, Pathankot attack, our Prime Minister gave a simple statement that we are going to backtrack from the Indus Water Treaty, which we have signed with Pakistan. Immediately what happened is China blocked the Brahmaputra river water. That means we can't do that. That is the understanding. Indus Water Treaty, we are the upper riparian state, so we can dictate terms. Brahmaputra, China is the 5 minutes wait panava. Okay, so we will wait for 5 minutes. Some network issue is there. We will wait for 5 minutes. Chat le adichu vitrunga. Okay, so network is back. See, that's why we can't dictate terms with Bangladesh because we are an upper riparian state. We have to settle, okay? See, if the river is running into their landmass, we also have to give the due share to them, okay? So because during the flood time, we will open the water. During when water is deficient, we can't completely block the water. So this is a basic understanding, okay? So if we are doing it against Bangladesh in Teesta, means tomorrow, China may not, already they are creating problem regarding Brahmaputra. Now they will completely divert the water. So checks and balances will always be there. Anyway, we have to go for some kind of settlement. So Ganga river water problem is settled. Teesta river water problem is still pending. Okay. So the agreement is yet to sign. Indian government is ready to sign the deal, but Bangladesh West Bengal government is not allowing it. Okay. So because they need the water. So this is the understanding. And then the third issue is Tipaimuk Dam. In Tipaimuk Dam, you see, in the state of Manipur, a river called Barak River is there. This is Barak River. So write the names: Manipur state, Barak River. India was about to build this Tipaimuk Dam. This is a Tipaimuk Dam is a multi-purpose dam. Multi-purpose dam means it is for preventing soil erosion, irrigation, and then hydroelectricity. Like that, for multiple purpose, this dam is being used. So the question now is, Bangladesh objects to this Tipaimuk Dam. So they are telling that if this Tipaimuk is dam is built across Barak River, means two of the Bangladesh rivers, Kushiara, Surma, may go dry. So this is the understanding. So if we block the water, means the two of the Bangladeshi rivers will not get water. Kushiara River, Surma River. So that's why Bangladeshi government immediately raised the issues because India was building this particular dam. So now India have temporarily put a halt over this particular construction, allowing both the countries to go for the EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. See, what is this EIA? Recently also some in news, government is amending that particular Environmental Impact Assessment Act, that one, okay. So what is this Environmental Impact Assessment? See, if the dam is there, what is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? If dam is not there, what is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? It is a case study, okay, whether to move forward or whether we have to completely drop that particular project. If the project comes, means is there more advantage than disadvantage, or it will become more disadvantage? We have to evaluate that. The plus and minuses of that project, very simple, okay. That is how this is going to impact the environment, okay. So animals, trees, etc. Villages have to see, if you are building a dam, means the river water, that dam water will rise. Okay, this will affect more villages which are in the in the foothill of the hills, or in the where there is no elevation. Okay, so this is the problem. Even in Kanchenjunga, what happens is whenever Assam flood is there, all the human beings, they are going and occupying the peak areas, the tablelands. Actually, the tablelands belongs to the wild animals. Whenever there is a flood, the wild animals will enter into the tableland. Whenever it is dry, they will roam along the entire Kaziranga forest. But since we human beings have taken over all the tablelands, now the animal have no way to go and ensure their life, they secure their life. So this is what happening. Okay, so like a lot of villages may get submerged because of these dams. So anyway, so now both the countries are going for the environmental impact assessment. After that, only both the countries will again renegotiate this issue, and then only we will know whether India is going to continue this Tipaimuk Dam or permanently is going to put a halt over this Tipaimuk Dam. So this is the third issue. Okay, so Manipur state, Barak River, Tipaimuk Dam, multi-purpose dam. And now India has put a halt because of Bangladesh objection. Why? The reason for objection is, if we build this dam, means the river, the Kushiara River and Surma River may go dry. So this is Bangladesh argument. So after the environmental, what are the cases, scenarios? Based on that only, we will move forward or we will permanently put a halt. So since 2009, we have a friendly government in Bangladesh. India is forced to listen to our friend Bangladesh. That you have to note it. Okay. So this is the three river water sharing disputes. So number one issue is Ganga River. We have settled that issue. 30-year deal. 2026 again we have to renew the deal. And then the second issue is Teesta, which is pending. Tipaimuk is also pending. Okay. Now we will get into the next issue. So next issue is the maritime boundary problem. See this Bay of Bengal, Murli, screen pitch. So in the Bay of Bengal, you have to note that it is a partially closed sea. Okay. So so that's why you see what happens is from the territorial line up to 200 nautical miles is the exclusive economic zone of the country. This is according to UN class agreement, United Nations Convention for Law of Seas, UN class agreement. This was signed in 1980s. So series of agreements are there. According to that, world countries demarcate their maritime boundary. So what happens is, since this is a partially closed sea, it is a narrow sea. Okay, it is not an open ocean. So what happens is, from here, if you are calculating, means our exclusive economic zone's claim is up to this, because in exclusive economic zone, that particular country is having the sole right over the living and non-living resources. Living resources means fishes, non-living resources means the sea minerals, oil, water, oil and gas, whatever available. Okay, and note that in this Irrawaddy river, other the Myanmar, a lot of rivers are entering into Bay of Bengal here. Okay, here in all delta regions, you have to note that hydrocarbons will be available. Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta, Kaveri Delta, they will go and explore oil. For that only lot of protests were there last year. Similarly, so in the Myanmar area, this is delta region, Irrawaddy Delta. Okay, so lot of hydrocarbons are available, particularly natural gas is available, and China exploits all the natural gas with an agreement with Myanmar. So like that, this is Ganga river water, Ganga Delta. Here only Ganga flows like this Ganga Delta is been there. So in Ganga Delta also, definitely I am telling, hydrocarbons will be available. And because we are having a overlapping exclusive economic zone. This is Bangladesh claim. 1 minute. So this is Bangladesh claim, and this is India's claim, and this is Myanmar's claim. So the important problem is this area is overlapping. The exclusive economic zone of India and Bangladesh are overlapping. Okay, so India is not in a straight, see the Indian coast is not straight, actually it is like this. Okay, so from here if we calculate means we are claiming up to this. Bangladesh is claiming straight. Okay, so this was a big problem between India and Bangladesh, because already you see Bangladesh doesn't have much natural resources. If at all oil is found in its maritime territory means definitely Bangladesh will try to take that. So that's why what happened is in 10 years before, 2009 I think, Bangladesh went to the international court, Hague court, Netherlands. And 2 years before, the international court gave a verdict. Actually, there was about 25,000 square kilometers. This is the total disputed territory. This territory is 25,000 square kilometer territory. Out of that, 5,000 square kilometer approximately, I am telling, came to India, and 20,000 was awarded to Bangladesh. So problem is settled. And note that India accepted this verdict, and amicably we settled this issue with Bangladesh. India did not protest this. See, during the same time only, you see in South China Sea verdict was there. That means between Philippines and China. When the verdict was given that China doesn't have any right near Philippines border, China said that I will not accept this judgment, and even China said that I am not going to get the copy of the judgment. But during the same time only, more or less, this maritime dispute was also settled by international court. India accepted the international court's verdict. Okay, so we have an obligation under 51C, respect international treaty and obligation. Okay, so we accepted international court. So that's why whenever in international court a case is settled, we will accept the verdict of the international court. So that's why India accepted it, Now you see India and Bangladesh government have signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, to jointly explore oil and gas in this region, because Bangladesh have the territorial rights and we have the expertise. See, our ONGC, OVL, Overseas Videsh Limited, external arm of ONGC, they are experts in drilling and exploring oil in sea. Bangladesh doesn't have this expertise. So jointly we are exploring oil and gas in this region. If at all oil is found out, means Bangladesh and India will share it on some proportion. Okay. So the maritime dispute was there. Settlement was given by international court. India accepted the verdict. So this is the point. Okay. So India is behaving very good with the international community. This is a classic example. Okay. So this is one maritime boundary dispute. And then another problem is there, the New Moor Island problem. See, this is the disputed territory. This yellow line is the claim of India. This is the claim of Bangladesh. Okay. So now you see here in this part, particularly in this part, river Haryabanga. Haryabanga is a distributary of Ganga, a delta river, small delta river. Okay, a branch of Ganga. So this side you have Bangladesh, this side you have India. Okay, so this in the river mouth only, suddenly what happened is an island emerged. See, what happened is actually in 1970, by the time it was East Pakistan. 1971 only Bangladesh was born. In 1970, a big cyclone was there in this region. The cyclone, I think the cyclone name is Bola cyclone. I forgot the name, Bola. Okay, it was a very terrible cyclone. During that cyclone, you have to note that 10 lakh East Pakistanis died. East Pakistanis were under the administration of West Pakistan. West Pakistani people did not do anything. They simply gave a explanation that we did not expect that this much of cyclone will be coming. This much of damage it will create. They did not expect this, like that day. So 10 lakh people died in Bangladesh because of this cyclone. Okay. So this is one of the reasons why Bangladeshi people went against West Pakistan in 1971. Okay, one of the that means the remnants of the anger against the West Pakistan. So during that particular cyclone, what happened is in the the rivers, all the rivers will be flooded, and more water will come. More water comes means it will come with sedimentation, rock particles, soil particles, and what it will do is because of the heavy density of the sea water, the river water is less density because it is not a salt water. This is a sea water is a salt water. Okay. So ultimately what will happen is the river will completely put all its this sediments, rock particles, small rock particles, sand in the mouth of the river, and then it will mix into the sea water. So this is what happened. Suddenly what happened is because of that an island emerged. That island is called New Moor Island or South Talipati. Okay, so this was the island, and both India and Bangladesh were fighting for this island. But note that according to the international court's verdict, this island is somewhere here. Okay, so this one somewhere here, this island. Okay, this island. So we were awarded 5,000 square kilometer. So the New Moor Island finally fall into our 5,000 square kilometer. So the international court gave the verdict in which 1/5 of the territory belongs to India. 4/5 of the territory belongs to Bangladesh. Like that, they gave a verdict. The New Moor Island fall in our territory. Okay. So finally, India was awarded New Moor Island. But note that because of some unfortunate another cyclone, again this island went into the sea. It submerged and then again it re-emerged and submerged, like that. It went away. New Moor is now no more. It is not there. Okay. The issue of New Moor Island is no more now. So this is the second issue. So regarding maritime issue, we discussed the two things. One is the maritime dispute. 25,000 square kilometer of territory was under dispute. So international court awarded 5,000 kilometer approximately to India. New Moor Island was another problem. New Moor Island finally fall into our 5,000 square kilometer territory, but now New Moor Island again submerged into the sea because of another cyclone. It's not a permanent island, temporary island. Okay. So these are all the two maritime disputes. So I think we have discussed all the India-Bangladesh problems. Okay. And apart from that, recently in 2015 only, we settled the border dispute with Bangladesh, land boundary agreement. And during that particular meet, bilateral meet, India gave $4.5 billion. $4.5 billion. Actually, we gave $1 billion, $2 billion actually. But what happened is, during the time BRICS meeting was there in India, Goa. For that, Xi Jinping from Beijing, he came to Goa to attend that meeting 2 years before. But while coming, he stopped in Dhaka, then he came to India. In Dhaka, he wrote a check for $21 billion for Bangladesh. Just in return, Bangladesh have to cooperate with China in the Belt and Road Initiative. So Bangladesh received $21 billion from China. India gave just $2 billion. So this is literally meaning is into 10 times plus 1 billion. 2 billion we gave to Bangladesh. China gave 2 into 10, 20 plus 1, 21. Okay, so then India is forced to give more money. We can't give $21 billion to Bangladesh. Okay, so we can't give like that of money. Okay, but China will give it because China wants Bangladesh to cooperate in Belt and Road Initiative. Bangladesh is cooperating. But the important thing is Sheikh Hasina is still in power. So Sheikh Hasina will not openly go against India and join China. But if somebody is giving $21 billion, means no one will say that I don't need this money. So that's why Bangladesh got it. So the point is, we also have to contribute to Bangladesh to at least balance that Bangladesh will not go and fall into the trap of China, Chinese influence. That's why again we went and gave $4.5 billion. And in return for this money, we got access to Mongla port and Chittagong port. These two are Bangladesh major port. Through that port, we are trying to connect our northeastern states. See, connectivity to our northeastern states is the major problem. Why? Means because our northeastern states is connected with mainland India by the narrow Siliguri corridor, the chicken's neck, very small territory. And near that only this Doklam issue, China create problem. China will come and attack and block that particular territory. Means we will have no connection with northeastern states. And since independence, particularly since Bangladesh independence, India was asking transit route to Bangladesh to access our northeastern states from Kolkata. Okay, so this is Bangladesh. So here only Kolkata city is there. So here Agartala is there. So here Assam is there, Shillong, Guwahati, all these states are there. So we want transit route. Bangladesh was not giving. So now you have to note that in Bangladesh here, this Chittagong port are there, no? So through railways, roadways, we are connecting our northeastern states. Like that we have planned. And for that only we got access to Mongla port and Chittagong port. It is a Bangladeshi port, but India can use that port. Like that we have to pay a fee, but access will be given, a pass will be given for India. And not only that, both the countries have also commenced a bus service. Kolkata, here is Dhaka, Kolkata, Dhaka, Agartala. Kolkata, Dhaka, Shillong, Guwahati. Kolkata, Dhaka, Agartala. Kolkata, Dhaka, Shillong, Guwahati. Okay. So this bus, so that means otherwise, if from Kolkata to Agartala you have to go, means we have to go through this narrow Siliguri corridor. This is very narrow path. Through that only we have, and it is a rugged path also, mountainous territory. It will take days to go there. So now in a single night we can cross Bangladesh because we have got this bus service. We have got this bus service. Okay. So this is regarding India and Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh. Okay. So one more thing is that to discuss with Bangladesh is the Rohingya issue. Bangladesh and Myanmar issue. So this is India-Myanmar border. And this is India-Bangladesh border. Okay. Both Bangladesh and Myanmar, both are our neighboring countries. And both countries' friendship is important to India. Why? Means because otherwise, using Burma, that means today's Myanmar, or using Bangladesh, terrorist activities will be there. This border is porous border. So we have to appease both Bangladesh and Myanmar. This is our position. Okay, so what happened is actually during the United India, I am telling during the British India period, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan were united together under British India. So during that period, the British forces almost occupied the entire India. And the British power center is this Bangladesh. not only Bangladesh, the Bengal region. This is East Bengal. This is West Bengal. The combined Bengal region is the power center of British. See, that is the reason why in India, in Indian modern history, if you read means, almost majority of the revolutionaries, you have to note that, are all from Bengali people only. Or we can say Bengali people only led the freedom movement in India. Like that we can take. Okay, so whatever may be. See, now what happened is after conquering India, these British people, they began to conquer Burma. And they attacked and waged war with Burma and conquered Burma. So Burma also went under the control of British. And to work for this, but the British headquarters was still Bengal only. So now what happened is, the British people from the Bengal region, they took these people and made them to work for the British people in Myanmar. That means the Bengali people were working, particularly the Bengali speaking Muslims. See, Bengali Hindus means West Bengal people mostly. Okay, Bengali speaking Muslims means today's Bangladesh people, that day's British India people. The British people, the British officers, they took these Bengali speaking Muslims and they were made to work for the British people in Burma. Like in India, in Burma also people protested against the British rule. The British government, with the help of the Bengali speaking Muslims, the Bengali speaking Muslims were mostly servants of the British. So they were controlling this territory. After they gave independence to India, British also gave independence to Burma, and British vacated the subcontinent and went back to England, leaving the Bengali speaking Muslims in this territory. So during the British regime, all these people were against British. And who were supporting the British people? The Bengali speaking Muslims. So until British were there, the Bengali speaking Muslims were safe. So after a century, when this British left this territory, the Bengali speaking Muslims were left here. Those people are Rohingya people, and they are living in a state called Rakhine state, Rakhine. So Burma was given independence. Soon after Burma was given independence, it went under the control of a junta government. Junta means a military administration. Okay. Immediately they did not give citizenship to these Rakhine people who are living in Burma for nearly 100 and 150 years. So ultimately what happened is all these people lost the citizenship of Burma. And they were asked to go back to their country. When they went back, they found that it was East Pakistan. And after 1970, it became Bangladesh. So now terms is not well between the Burmese Buddhist and the Bengali speaking Muslims there in the Rakhine state. These people were not given citizenship. They are stateless people now. So that's why these people are literally living in boats. Myanmar will not allow them. Then these people will go to Bangladesh. Bangladesh will not allow them. Then in boat they will go to Thailand, and then Malaysia, Indonesia. Everybody uses this Rohingya population as their worker, as a slave. Okay. So because they are illegal people, that means they doesn't belong nowhere. They doesn't have a country. They doesn't have rights. They doesn't have a soil. See, if you don't have a soil means you don't have a right. That is the understanding. Okay. So that literally these people are called boat people. So now what happened is, see, this is the creation of the British legacy. That's why I said two community people are fighting with each other means 100% I am telling British people will be behind that. Because they only divided the people and then ruled. They used the minorities against the majority. So now who have to take care of them? British, but British did not raise voice. But now what happened is in the Myanmar coast, lot of hydrocarbons are available, and that too after the Belt and Road Initiative, Chinese presence is increasing in Myanmar. That's why world countries are now US, British, all these people are France, all are going against Myanmar. Now they are using this Rohingya crisis to put pressure on the Myanmar government. But Myanmar government is telling you, British people only brought these people to our country. Now they have to take it back, or let them go back to their original country. In the original country, that British India is not there today. Now it is Bangladesh. The Bangladesh government is already a poor government. That means the country is poor comparatively, relatively. So in that circumstances, nobody can take this particular this people. And always, already we know that migrant population means always a problem. And that too, already Bangladesh is poor. Now how come they take this migrant population? If they are going to Bangladesh means the local population in Bangladesh and these people will fight with each other. And in Myanmar, you have to note that these people, at some point of time, they killed some 5 to 10 Myanmar soldiers. In return, all the Buddhist Myanmar people, they began to kill all the Rohingya population. It was something like an ethnic cleansing. They went to village by village, and burnt the entire village, killed all the people. It was even the United Nations chief said that this is a textbook example of what is called ethnic cleansing. What is called textbook example means in future students will read in textbook. What is called ethnic cleansing means what happened in Bangladesh, that means Myanmar only is called ethnic cleansing. The Buddhist monks only are killing this Muslim population. And the Muslim population have no choice to go where. And you can't take these people also, because their people are not educated, they are not disciplined, they will do anything for survive. So the handling these people is not easy. That's why nobody is taking them. And because these people were Muslims and they are suffering, ISIS began to contact these people and began to recruit some people from here. And after hearing that Rohingya population are Muslim population and they have connection with ISIS, India said no to Rohingya population. India will not take Rohingya refugees. Already you know that India doesn't have a refugee. We are not party to the refugee convention. We are not obliged to or obligated to take the refugee. Okay, and after since you are accepting refugee means we have to, Indian government have to accommodate them. The present BJP government is not ready to accommodate these people because these people were Muslims. So that's why what Indian government, this is the stature of India. But India, this is the Rohingya population. We are telling I feel threatened by you. I can't take you people. If India allows Rohingya people into India means, then lot of terrorist people also may enter into India. Possibility is that is also true also. That's why Indian government said we won't take any Rohingya. But what this Rohingya people did is they slowly began to enter into northeastern states illegally through some porous borders, and by walk they went up to Jammu Kashmir. And one point of time, what happened is last year in 2018 or 19, during this time, India caught some 10 Rohingya population, the people who belong nowhere. So what Indian government did is, Indian government said that you people are not Indian people, you are illegal migrants. So what I am going to do is, I am going to send back to you, or I am going to expel you, like that Indian government said. Immediately lot of cases were filed in Supreme Court regarding human rights. Okay, so this is about human rights. These people have nowhere to go. Somebody have to take it, no? So at least we should not allow them to enter our country. If at all they have entered means we have to accommodate them. This is the understanding. So the case is very simple. You are telling that you are going to deport them back. Deport them where? You answer. Like that Supreme Court said, government was not able to answer it. But yet, Indian government is not accepting this Rohingya. Okay, so this is Rohingya issue. Okay, see, the important thing here is, see, something is happening in our neighborhood. India is aspiring for world superpower status, to get into United Nations Security Council, etc. So in these circumstances, something is happening in our neighborhood. Means what we have to do? I am not asking Indian government to take these people. At least we have to go and dictate terms. No, we have to participate. No, India kept aloof. Now what happened is the extraterritorial powers like China is coming and dictating terms there in Bay of Bengal. This is going against the interest of India. Okay, so this is the problem, Rohingya issue. Okay, but Rohingya population means we can't accommodate also. Where you will accommodate? I will not accommodate in my home. I can't tolerate. Like the toleration means in the sense they are not disciplined people. Disciplined people means in the sense they are not educated properly. In that circumstances, what they will do? They will do anything for survival. Automatically, lower level, the Indian laborers and the Rohingya population will fight with each other. Rohingya population will work anything just for food and accommodation. So this will create problem. Okay, and since these people are affected, ISIS is contacting them to recruit people from Rohingya, and some people have joined it. So this adds fuel to the thing. And ISIS indirectly said that along with Rohingya population, we will also send our jihadists. Like that, they are threatening us. So in that circumstances, India cannot accept this Rohingya population. And Bangladesh want India to pressurize Myanmar to accept these people. Myanmar is pressurizing India to pressurize Bangladesh to accept these people. Both are our neighbors. Which side India will side? Since last year there was an election in Bangladesh, That election is very crucial for India. Sheikh Hasina's re-election is very, very important for India. That's why what we did is finally we slightly pressurized Myanmar. But yet Myanmar is completely under the control of China only. Okay. So since Myanmar is our border country, we have to be friendly with Myanmar also. Otherwise, the northeast and separatist groups will find refuge in Myanmar. Bangladesh government is also very, very important. So India got under what do you say, tight corner. Okay, both the sides we can't do anything. Okay, so we can't ask both the countries to accept these refugees. We can also, India also cannot accept this refugee. At the same time, India doesn't have mind to tell that you remain in the sea itself. They are living in boats in the sea. They doesn't have a land. See, according to United Nations Convention for Stateless People, the ultimate aim of that convention is nobody in the world should be stateless. If there is a human being, means he should belong somewhere, some country. Big country, small country, that is different. Nobody should be stateless. But these people are stateless people. They don't have a state. They don't have a land. So this is the problem. Okay. So this is Bangladesh. That's why I'm telling, whenever there is some kind of problem is there, two community people are fighting with each other, some issues are there, always who will be there behind this? British people will be behind this. Okay. So this is regarding India and Bangladesh. This is India Bangladesh. Next we will discuss India Japan. We have missed, and I think we have one more topic. I think India Sri Lanka. Okay, have we discussed India Sri Lanka? Just send message in the chat. Have we discussed India and Sri Lanka? I got confused with other batch. Are we about to discuss India Sri Lanka? That you tell me. Is it pending? Just send a message. No. Okay. So we will be discussing Sri Lanka, Nepal and Pakistan. So three topics are there. Japan. So Japan, Sri Lanka we will discuss today. Nepal, Pakistan in one more class. So next class I will be winding the bilateral session. Okay. So we'll take a 2 minutes break and then we'll continue. Okay. So we have missed India-Japan relations. Okay. See, regarding India's relationship with the bigger countries means the Western countries, and that means the rich countries. Japan, although a Asian country, belongs to Western country only. That is the understanding. Among the rich Western countries, Japan is our closest reliable partner. So today with Japan, you have to note that we are having 360-degree relationship, all-round relationship. See, earlier we had only one issue with Japan. We never had any problem with Japan, but one big issue was there. That issue was nuclear bomb. Japan is a victim of nuclear bomb. Japan is a country who has sworn to eliminate nuclear weapons in the world. India is an unrecognized nuclear weapon country. And Japan only initiated NPT-CTBT treaty. India did not sign NPT-CTBT treaty. So except this one issue, India and Japan have no problem. Japan is a friendly country to India. Okay. So now that problem also solved after we signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement with Japan. See, on the 50th anniversary of India-Japan relationship only, you have to note that we Indian Post released this stamp. In Japan, there is one dance is there. The dance is called Kabuki dance. So this has close resemblance with our Kathakali dance. Okay, this is the stamp, 50th anniversary of diplomatic relationship between India and Japan. And note that this is Shinzo Abe, the Japanese Prime Minister. Okay, and our Prime Minister. Okay, see, Shinzo Abe is people call him as an Indophile. Indophile means a person who wanted to have close relationship with Indians. The Shinzo Abe is a pro-Indian Prime Minister, very simple. He love India, that is the understanding. Why means because, see, note that he is a third generation politician. His father, his uncle, grandfather, everybody were Japanese top politician. So during the Second World War, we all know that Japan invaded China. And at the end of the Second World War, that means US put 2 bombs on Japan and Japan finally surrendered. That was the end of the Second World War. After the Second World War, US was the first country in the world who used this kind of massive bombs. See, killing and dying is not new to human community. But in a single stroke, killing more than 10 lakh people, including all innocent population, children, women, old age people, that is completely new to human community. That means all the world country have to keep USA aloof. Aloof means we have to reject US. That is the understanding. So before that could happen, US began to do certain things. It began to blame Japan for all the war. That's why what happened is, even after the end of the war, even after Japan completely surrendered, a war crime investigation was convened. Okay, a tribunal was convened. In the tribunal, the Japanese officials will be tried, including the Japanese Prime Minister, that day's Prime Minister. By the time Japan was under imperial. So now what happened is, in Japan, all the people, Japan was an imperial country, no doubt in that. Japan occupied almost all the East Asian countries, no doubt in that. But when the Japan was put 2 bombs on, that means Japan suffered because of the 2 atomic bombs. Japan completely collapsed. The enemy collapsed and surrendered. And they were completely humiliated. This is a humiliating defeat for Japan. See, in a battle, you can take the head of your enemy. So that is allowed. But after the battle, when the enemy surrenders and he lay down his arms and he is humiliated, you should not further humiliate that particular person by appointing a tribunal. So Japan was looking for a, the voice of the world. See, the USA, whatever may be the case, US should not have used this kind of bombs, because innocent population died, along with animals, trees, insects, everything completely smacked. The 2 important commercial cities of Japan were completely washed out. This is completely new to human community. What US did was a crime against humanity. Instead of that, to hide that particular thing, again US and other Western countries, they started this tribunal and wanted to put blame on Japan. And note that the tribunal award was already written before the starting of the tribunal itself. What the verdict of the tribunal already was framed. But note that among that particular tribunal, some judges were there. No, one Indian judge was appointed. His name was Radha Vinod Pal, I think. See, in Netflix there is one series is there. So now you are free, no? You can see that. Tokyo Trials. Like that, the Irfan, the Indian actor Irfan is there. No, he will be acting as that Indian judge. See, in the tribunal, what they will be putting blame on Japan is, Japan only started an war. So Japan is a war criminal. Like that they will be blaming. That Indian judge will say that starting a war is not a criminal activity according to international law on that particular day. How can we blame Japan? See, you only put bombs on Japan. To hide your act, you are again blaming the victim. Victim means the sense, the people who was defeated. Okay, the victor is now again putting the blame on the person who are defeated. So what happened is, our judge gave a dissenting judgment. All the other judges, they gave judgment against Japan, and even they hanged some of the Japanese top officials. But Indian judge gave a different opinion, because our opinion is India's opinion, and the third world countries, the majority of the world's opinion, the neutral countries' opinion. The victor countries, they did some conspiracy, and what they did is they blamed Japan. This completely hurt Japanese people. And when our Indian judge gave a judgment in favor of Japan people, you have to note that the Japan people rejoiced. See, by the time the Shinzo Abe's grandfather was one of the top politicians. So since that day, you have to note that whenever this Abe family is there, they will be pro-India only. But we did not develop much relationship with Japan, because Japan became an ally of US till 1990. We were following non-alignment movement. Later we allied with Soviet Union. So after 1990, after Lookist policy only, again India-Japan relationship started. Although we don't have problem, we have close cultural relationship and historic relationship. Buddhism. See, from India, Buddhism spread to China. From China, Buddhism spread to Japan. See, in Japan, the gods are also similar with Indian gods only. Okay. So the Shinzo Abe is very, very friendly with India. That's the reason. And when he became the Prime Minister of Japan and Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of India, what happened is, we invited the Japanese Prime Minister to India. And breaking the protocol, what Narendra Modi did is, our Prime Minister, he went to the airport to receive the Japanese Prime Minister. This is completely against the protocol. Only some senior minister, some minister will go and receive him, not the Prime Minister. Prime Minister itself went there. And when Shinzo Abe stepped into Indian soil, immediately Modi went and hugged Shinzo Abe, the hugging diplomacy. And Shinzo Abe fall flat for this. Already he is a pro-Indian, and Indians are very much enthusiastic in welcoming Shinzo Abe. So Shinzo Abe was very happy in India. And not only that, immediately Narendra Modi took Shinzo Abe to the Varanasi, his constituency. So there in the evening in Varanasi, in the Ghats means in the Ganga banks, they were doing puja on Ganga river. And Narendra Modi was doing some arati plate, like that. They also gave one plate to this guy, Shinzo Abe. He was also doing puja. He doesn't know what is the meaning of all these things. But he was very happy, because on seeing the Japanese Prime Minister doing this arati, all the people, the Indian people who are in and around that particular place, they were very happy. And on seeing Indian people very happy, he became very happy. And immediately India, what he did? Immediately India asked Japan, let us have a civil nuclear deal. Shinzo Abe said, yes, we can have it. And within 2 years, both the leaders, they signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement. So now the only hurdle, the civil nuclear, that means the nuclear issue, is now over. Okay. So see, easily Shinzo Abe fall flat for Indian hospitality. Very simple. Actually, Japanese people are known for hospitality. See, you have to go to a Japanese home. They will treat you like God. So, but in India, we say that Atiti Devo Bhava. If any guest is coming, means he is like a God. But in Tamil, what they will say is, day one, they will put you a big feast in a banana leaf. After 2-3 days, they will put the food in a plate. After that, they will put the food in the floor. Like that. That means the guest hospitality will be coming down. One day means they will be very happy. Next 2-3 days means they won't treat you like the treatment they got in day one. Okay, just for fun, I am telling. India is also good for hospitality. Okay, Japan is also very good. Okay, so now Japan is a close ally of India, 360-degree relationship. We have all-round relationship with Japan. Japan want close connection with India. Okay, Japanese people are also like that. Indian people also like Japan. Like that, our relationship is that. Okay, so again, with respect to Japan, we have to discuss three things. One is the security-oriented issue, nuclear policy, and economic policy. So this in three areas, in three contexts, we have to discuss India-Japan relationship. So number one is security. So this is China. This is Japan, this is India. So China and India, we know how our relationship is there. How India-Pakistan relation is there. Like that, China and Japan doesn't like each other because of the history, World War history. So China, Japan doesn't like each other. India, China doesn't like each other. Enemies becomes enemy. So we become friends. So against China, Japan is our closest ally. I will tell two incidents. One, during the Doklam issue 2 years before, the only country who gave voice in favor of India was Japan. During the Galwan Valley incident, other world countries, in principle, they were supporting India, but boldly who gave statement against, in favor of India against China? Shinzo Abe, the Japan people only. Okay, so against China, if we can rely on someone, means that is Japan only. Japan is the closest ally of India, particularly against China. Both doesn't like China. So this is the understanding. And not only that, in 2007, the Shinzo Abe, for a brief period, he became the Prime Minister of Japan for a very brief period, 1 year only. During this time, he started one particular dialogue. The dialogue is called Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. So you note this Japanese name also. This is important. Diamondo Kausho. Okay. So this is nothing but the alliance. This is today we call it Quad, no? In 2007 itself, the Shinzo Abe started this Quad. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue only. Today we call it as simply as Quad. Okay. So this is an broader alliance of democracies of broader Asia. Alliances of democracies. That means in the Quad only democratic countries are allowed. That is the understanding. Broader Asia. Why? Means because you see Japan is there, US is there, Australia is there, India is there. Quad. Okay. And India-Japan relation is the fifth link. So this is the first link of the Quad. This is the second link of the Quad. This is the third link of the Quad. India-US is the fourth link. India-Japan is the fifth link of the Quad. The sixth link was not established when we signed Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement with Australia after we got a waiver from energy. Now the sixth link is also established. Now the Quad is in place. The Quad is the alliances of four democracies: Australia, US, Japan and India of broader Asia. This is Australian continent, this is American continent. So four democratic countries are together. Particularly, we have a common understanding regarding Indo-Pacific region. You note this. This Quad is having a common understanding. Even you can write like this. We have a joint vision on Indo. Indo means Indian Ocean. Pacific Ocean means South China Sea. In South China Sea and Indian Ocean, we have a joint vision. Joint vision on Indo-Pacific region. Pacific means South China Sea. Earlier, the world countries used to call this as Asia Pacific. Now, to give more importance to India in Indian Ocean, instead of Asia, these countries are today calling Indo-Pacific region instead of Asia Pacific. They strike down the word Asia and instead they added Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region. Okay, so all this, that means that's why China labeled this Quad as a Asian NATO, equal to Quad. NATO is an alliance of North Atlantic Treaty Organization against communist Russia. Asian NATO is nothing but Quad. Against China only, these four countries are coming together. Now all the four countries are joining together for Malabar Axis also. That also you have to note that. So the point is, Japan is a close ally for our counter China policy. Japan is also facing the same problem India is facing. We don't want China dominating Asia and the world. So this is the understanding. Okay. So India and Japan are close allies against China. So this you have to keep it in mind. Reliable ally. US is a distant partner. Okay, US policy may change because US doesn't have direct threat from China. But Japan and India, immediate threat. It is our immediate threat is China only. Okay. And then see, both India and Japan, to counter the OBOR or Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. To counter this, we have started the AAGC, Africa Asia Growth Corridor. Africa Asia Growth Corridor. Okay, to counter the maritime Silk Road, because China, by setting its foothold in South China Sea and Indian Ocean, is dominating this region. This region is also the trade route of India and Japan. So through Indian Ocean, through Malacca Strait, through South China Sea only we can connect Japan. So our interest is under trouble. So that's why, to counter the Chinese project, we are going for AAGC. It is an attempt to create a free and open Indo-Pacific region. See, Indo-Pacific region. See, in the slide, because of the space problem, Indo-Pacific is coming in the next line. Like that you should not write in the examination. Okay. So cut it open. Here it should come. Indo-Pacific. Because this is an important keyword, no? If you split that and write means it won't be visible. Okay. So like this, don't do it in examination. Okay. So to create a free and open Indo-Pacific region. So we are trying to rediscover our old trade routes. Okay. So this AAGC is going to connect Africa. So this is Africa. This is India. So here only so Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and this side. Here Japan is there. Okay. Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and East Asia. Africa, India, Southeast Asia, Malacca Strait, and Japan, East Asia. So this is our understanding. This is to counter OBOR. This is to counter OBOR. So now we have to evaluate the project OBOR versus AAGC, which is having more prospects. Prospects means more probability for success. Why? Means because China is aggressively implementing it. China is having a lot of money. China is the second largest economy. Okay, like that we will say. But I am telling AAGC is having more prospects. Why? Means because if any country, they have invited hundreds of countries to come and join the Belt and Road Initiative. But all countries did not join. Only the weaker countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Maldives, Burma, these countries only joined. Why? Means because they are in the receiving end. They thought that they can get benefit from China. The major countries, Southeast Asian nation, reliable nations, they did not join. India did not join. West Asia did not join. The Arab nations, although they have good relation with China, they did not join. Maybe today Iran might have joined, but other countries did not join. African countries, some of the African countries have joined. Okay, all the countries who have joined this China in this project, they are all in the receiving side. They are not real partners. They are all, what do you say, liabilities only for China. And now these countries got lot of money. Now they have fallen in the debt trap with China. So best example is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, with the Chinese money, they built this Hambantota port. Now they don't have money to pay back to China. Now they gave the Hambantota port 99 years lease to China. Like that, all the countries are falling into the debt trap. All the countries are falling into the debt trap. Okay. So, the point is, but if any country comes and join AAGC means all countries will have equal stake. No country will dominate. Actually, this is a counter project only. Okay, so any country can come and join. All the Asian countries, they are very happy with AAGC. India is happy with AAGC because India is the country who is initiating this along with Japan. West Asian countries also come and join, and most importantly, US may come and join. So don't think that China is a powerful country because of money. Japan is also a big economy. So far, Japan was the second largest economy. Now China has overtaken Japan. Now, first is US is the largest economy. China is the second largest economy. Japan is the third largest economy. So that doesn't mean that Japan is less. No. China, big country, big resources. Japan, small country, big resources. Who is richer? Japan is richer. Small country, small population, but big money. China, big country, big resources, big money. Okay. India is the fifth largest economy. So in that particular sense, 3 and 5 coming to the governments, we can counter 2. And nobody is willing to join China. So everybody are afraid of China. So obviously, more prospect is there for India, Japan initiative. And that too, who will voluntarily and happily will come and join. Australia will come and join. And most importantly, US will come and join. European countries also will join. So obviously, who have, and even Iran, although signed a deal with China, Iran know very well the tactics of China. Okay, so Iran have no choice. That's why it joined China. So ultimately, this AAGC is having more prospects than OBOR. This is a both will compete with each other for some time. After some time, both will merge. This is what going to happen. Okay, so this is regarding AAGC. Okay, this is regarding security. And the second issue is regarding nuclear policy. 1 minute. Okay, so next is the nuclear policy of Japan. Why this nuclear policy of Japan is important to India, I will tell you. See, today only we have signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement with major countries, US, Russia, some European countries, etc. So the point is, except Russian reactor and Chinese reactor, all the other world countries' reactors are having Japanese components. Even US, I am telling. With US, we have signed civil nuclear cooperation agreement. If US have to supply us reactor, means Japan have to give a green signal to that. Because in the nuclear reactor, the major component is Japanese made component only. And India and Japan are against each other with respect to nuclear. Why? Means because Japan want complete elimination of nuclear weapon. In that we are cooperating with Japan. But since some other countries are also having nuclear weapon, India have also tested nuclear weapon. See, if there is going to be complete elimination of nuclear weapon from the world, means India will be happily face out all our nuclear weapons along with major countries. But our enemy China is having, Pakistan is having, even Russia, US are having it. If all countries disband it, means India will disband it. Otherwise, India should have it. This is India's idea. So because of this, India and Japan did not have a good understanding. That's why Japan will never clear India's name. So India cannot access nuclear reactor anywhere from the world. That's the reason why Russia alone so far have sent their reactor. So now there is no problem. Japan have signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement with India. See, actually what happened is, in 1967, the Japanese Prime Minister, Isaku Sato, see what he did is, during this time, 1967, Japan became an ally of US. After the defeat of Japan against US, Japan became friendly with US. But some of the Japanese island, in Okinawa group of island is there, the Japanese island. In that particular island, US was having a naval base in the Pacific Ocean. To counter, to put pressure on Russia, to attack Russia from the eastern side of Russia, Pacific side of Russia, US was maintaining a naval base there. The Japanese people, they suspected that US is still having some kind of nuclear bombs in the Okinawa island of Japan, which belongs to Japan, where US is having a naval base. So the Japanese people want US to vacate that particular island, particularly take away the nuclear weapon from Japanese soil. So as a result of this, the Japanese Prime Minister, this is not just an official policy, but this also reflects the sentiment of Japanese people. Okay, So he announced the 3 non-nuclear principle. That principle is called Hikaku Senjutsu. So why I am telling this Japanese name means in earlier in one of the UPSC mains examination in GS2 in bilateral they asked like this regarding Hikaku Senjutsu. Discuss the relationship between India and Japan. Nobody wrote that question because nobody know what is called Hikaku Senjutsu. So now this is irrelevant because this is outdated idea. Because now we have signed that agreement. That's why I am telling. But the Quad is very, very important. Quadrilateral security dialogue. What is the Japanese name for Quad? Have you written that? So this is relevant today. Diamondo Kausho. Diamondo Kausho. Diamondo Kausho. Okay. Diamondo Kausho. Okay. Note this. Sometimes they may ask this. Or in the examination while writing Quad, you can quote this idea. Okay. So Japanese Prime Minister in 1967 in the Japanese diet means the Japanese Parliament, he announced the Hikaku Senjutsu, the 3 non-nuclear principles: non-production, non-possession, and non-introduction. Non-production, non-possession, and non-introduction. Japan will not produce nuclear weapons, will not possess nuclear weapon, will not introduce nuclear technology to other countries. This was Japanese 3 non-nuclear principles. So in this, if Japan is following this kind of principle means, then how they will sign a deal with India? So India is a country who need nuclear technology, and India is already a nuclear open country. In that circumstances, how Japan will help India in nuclear technology, even if it is civil technology, when India is having military weapons? But what happened is, in 1967, in the same year, security analysts were posing question on Japan because in 1964, I am telling, in 1964, you have to note that China became nuclear. Within 2-3 years, the Prime Minister is telling that Japan will not have nuclear weapons. In that circumstance, the question was very simple. If China attacks Japan with nuclear weapon, what will Japan do? See, China are threatening to attack India with nuclear weapon means what India will do? Preemptively, we will strike China with a nuclear weapon. So we are having the no first use policy, our nuclear doctrine. Okay, that means credible minimum deterrence theory. To deter that kind of threat, we are also having nuclear weapon. If somebody is trying to attack or attacking India with a nuclear weapon or attacking India means India may be free to use nuclear weapon against that particular country. So if somebody is threatening you with a nuclear weapon means you should have nuclear weapon. Then the things will get neutralized and both countries will not issue threat against each other. So this idea only we call it as deterrence theory. If Japan says that I will not have nuclear weapon, an enemy of Japan, China, is having nuclear weapon means, then what Japan will do if China threatens or trying to use or using nuclear weapon against Japan? What will Japan do? So against a nuclear weapon country, only one choice is there. You should also go nuclear weapon. That is the reason why Pakistan went to nuclear weapon when India tested nuclear weapon. Can you understand? So what will this do? See, again, this guy, what he did is Yasagi Sato, he introduced one more policy. So this policy is called, this is the extension of the previous policy. 4 pillars of nuclear energy, nuclear policy. 4 pillars. So in this, point number 1 is promote peaceful use of nuclear weapon, nuclear power. That means Japan will support civil nuclear technology, but not military technology. That is number 1. Number 2, it will work for global nuclear disarmament. So this was signed in 1967. In 1968, Japan initiates the NPT treaty. And 1970, NPT comes into force. Okay, in which who did not sign? India did not sign. Note this. So Japan will work for global nuclear disarmament. The third point is very, very, very important for India. Okay. So Japan said, the Japanese principle says that it will rely on extended US nuclear deterrent. It will rely on extended US nuclear deterrent. That may, okay, I will come to that. And then it is reiterating the old 3 non-nuclear principle, Hikaku Senjutsu. So the third point is very, very important for India, and India convinced Japan using the third point because, see, US is the only culprit in the world who used 2 nuclear weapons, not one weapon. After knowing the destruction caused by the weapon number 1, After a few days, it put the second weapon. Knowingly only it did that. And Japan was the only victim in the world. If Japan can rely on US deterrence, that means if China threatens Japan or China uses nuclear weapon on Japan, Japan will not have its own weapon, but it will seek the help of US to deter China. That means if China strikes Japan, US will strike China. So this is the understanding. Okay. So if Japan, see, actually Japan should be the arch enemy of US after its defeat in the Second World War, after the 2 nuclear bombs. But Japan moved in a positive direction. Forget all the old things, and it now concentrates only on economy only. Okay. So that's why Japan is today an economic power. Okay. It started from 0, but again it came to number 2. Now only it gone to number 3 in economy. But anyway, so if it can depend upon US, why can't Japan have a relationship with India? You see, you yourself, you are telling that nuclear energy is a sensitive one. And you have developed a relationship with US itself, your enemy, arch enemy. Now friend, in that circumstances, India is telling that I am having nuclear weapon for deterrence only, for peaceful purpose only. That too to deter against China only, which is your enemy. So like that, India easily convinced Japan, and we used Shinzo Abe's sentiment. And finally, what we did is India, Japan signed a civil nuclear cooperation agreement. So now we have no issue with Japan. We have all-round relationship with Japan. So the nuclear issue between India and Japan is now over. Okay. Last 2 years before, we have signed the civil nuclear agreement between India and Japan. Now India can access nuclear reactor from all the world countries who have Japanese components. Okay. Only Chinese nuclear reactor doesn't have Japanese component. Russian nuclear reactor also doesn't have Japanese component. That's why we have bought it from Russia. So this was one of the reasons why India was not able to access nuclear reactor from world countries. All countries, and who might have also pressurized Japan? US, because US wanted to sell its reactor to India. We have signed an agreement. So US also pressurized Japan to sign civil nuclear agreement with India. So now under Quad, we are cooperating with each other. Nuclear technology also, we are cooperating with each other. India, Japan have no issue. We are all allies today. We are close allies today. Okay. And then the third one is economic relation. The third one is economic relation. 7% of the total FDI inflow is coming from Japan. And Japan ranks 4th. So actually number 1 is Mauritius, 2 is Singapore, 3 is UK. 4th country who is contributing more in terms of FDI inflow into India is Japan only. So actually Mauritius is not investing. Through Mauritius, EU countries are investing. So that you have to note it. And the total trade, approximate trade between India and Japan is $18 billion. And we have signed a CEPA agreement, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with Japan. It is a type of FTA, a type of FTA. Okay. So Japan is a very close economic partner to India, and Japan is a rich country. It is in the rich countries club. Okay. So from Japan we are getting lot of benefits. We are going to list all these things. Okay. So 7% of FDI is coming from Japan. Japan ranks 4th in terms of contribution, and total bilateral trade between India and Japan is $18 billion. And we have concluded a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, a type of free trade agreement with Japan. That you have to note. And then you see, coming to the service sector, the total Japanese service sector is $100 billion worth service sector. Japan is having the second largest IT market, but our share is only less than 2% of Japanese IT. That means the world second largest IT market is Japan. The total turnover is $100 billion. But India is a close ally of Japan. But India is a IT service provider, top IT service provider. But with respect to Japan's service market, our share is only less than 2%. Okay, we are not accessing it. 2 reasons are there. One reason is language. If you know Japanese language means all Indian engineers are welcomed in Japan. Number one. And number two is cultural misunderstanding. We don't like to go to this side. We always, you ask anyone, they will say that I want to go and settle in US or London. We want to see towards these eastern countries. Very few people only go this side. That is the problem. Because we are all oriental countries, no? Japan, Korea, China, India, oriental countries, okay? So we are having a complex. Always we run behind the Western culture. That's the problem. If any student know Japanese language means, he will be having a red carpet welcome in Japan. And Japan is a nice place to live, okay? The people will give, they will give lot of respect to other people. And Indians means they like it. And they will give more respect to all the people. That you have to note. So we can reap the benefits. Once we know the Japanese language, and once our students are ready to go towards Japan, automatically we can increase this share. At least we should get at least 50% of the share, if not the entire one. Actually, we can dominate completely. So, and from EU also we are not accessing IT projects. Japan also we are not accessing IT projects. Only from US we are accessing IT projects. That's why Indians are now influential in Japan. In US. Okay. So this is regarding the IT sector. Okay. And then ODA. ODA means Official Development Assistance. This is the money given by the rich countries to the developing nations to develop. What is the story behind ODA? I will tell you. See, I will take one example. See, Japan is one of the largest automobile makers. Toyota is there, Suzuki, Honda, all are Japan company only. I am an Indian. I wanted to buy a car, but I don't have money. What Japan will do is, it will take some 100 crore rupees and give it free for India. That money only we call it as ODA, Official Development Assistance. To develop yourself, I am giving you assistance. The Japan will give that money. So Indian government will get that 100 crore rupees and invest in Indian economy. Due to multiplier effect, this 100 crore will become 1000 crore and automatically everybody will have money. I will have 10 lakh in my pocket because economy is growing in India. So I will have money. So if I have 10 lakh rupees means I will buy a Toyota car. So in return for opening the market, those rich countries will provide money. But with respect to Japan, 99% of the Japan's ODA fund is coming to India only. A fund which is allocated by the OECD countries. Okay, OECD. Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. The rich man's club. Major countries are the G7 countries and plus some other rich countries. So these rich countries, you have to note that they began to give money to the poor countries, particularly the developing nation. Don't think that this development assistance will be given to countries like Somalia. So this is something like an investment. So India is a big market, but the market is not, that means people can buy it, but people are not buying it because they don't have money. So Japan is helping us to develop. And then when we develop, we will be buying, the economic policy will be such that we will be buying things from Japan. Okay, so like that, Japan is giving a ODF fund. Okay, out of the ODF fund from Japan, 49% of the money we are spending it on transport, 21 we spend it on water, and 18 we are spending it on energy, and 12% of the total Japanese money we are spending it on forestry and agriculture. So this is where the Japanese money is being spent in India. So Japan is contributing a lot to India. So after this slide, I am going to just list it out what all the contribution of Japan to India. Okay. So transport sector 49%, water 21%, energy 18%, and 12% of the money is being spent on agriculture and forestry to climate change related things. Okay. This is Japan's contribution to India's infrastructure. India need $1 trillion to develop our infrastructure. Japan is helping, Japan is a top country who is helping in India's infrastructure. How? I will give you the list. See, all metro rail projects. Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Kochi, everywhere metro trains are there. No, all are Japanese sponsored projects, Japanese money only. And then Delhi, Mumbai industrial corridor. Delhi, Mumbai in that in the Jaipur line, Delhi, Mumbai, Jaipur, Delhi, that line, it is a big industrial corridor is there. Lot of industries are there. All are Japanese industry. And then Chennai, Bengaluru, industrial corridor. If you are going towards Bengaluru means you can find lot of industries, Japanese industries. Japan help-based industries. So they are helping this. And this Hoganaical integrated drinking water project. Japan's contribution. So these are all some of the main Japan's contribution. All metro trains, Delhi Mumbai industrial corridor, Chennai Bengaluru industrial corridor, Hoganaical integrated drinking water project. So all these are Japanese contribution to our infrastructure. Some contribution I'm telling. All along this corridor you have to note that lot of industries are there. Japan based main industry, allied industries are there. So India is been getting help from Japan to develop our industries. And note that Japan is the #1 in iron and steel industry, one of the top countries. But note that Japan doesn't have iron ore. Japan is #1 in recycling iron. Iron ore for Japan is going from India to Japan. India only is supplying them. Note this. So Japan is an industrialized nation. That you have to note it. Hoganaical integrated drinking. So these are all some of the projects. And one more project is there. We call this as dedicated freight corridor. So a dedicated corridor for carrying goods train. And the goods train is going to travel at 120 km per hour. A dedicated track for train track for goods alone. Okay. Western dedicated freight corridor, Dadri to Jawaharlal Nehru Port, Mumbai. And then the Dankuni to Ludhiana. So both are approximately 1,500 crore. Okay. So this is west, this is eastern dedicated freight corridor. Freight means goods. Just to carry goods, a dedicated railway track Japan is laying for us. That means more transportation means more development, more industry. Transportation is important. Japan is helping us in transportation. Okay, dedicated freight corridors. Western dedicated freight corridor and eastern dedicated freight corridor. Eastern dedicated freight corridor. Okay. Then more projects. So Mumbai Ahmedabad bullet train project. And then in Mumbai this Dahej desalination plant. Okay. And then in Delhi this Neemrana industrial power solar power project. In Noida, in that while going to Jaipur we can find that. So these are all additional projects. This is Chennai Bengaluru industrial corridor, Mumbai Delhi industrial corridor, Delhi Mumbai industrial corridor. Okay. Additional projects, major projects. Dahej desalination plant, drinking water project in Mumbai. Okay. Then last year what happened is India-Japan Vision 2025 was unveiled. So already in 2000 itself, India-Japan have signed a strategic partnership agreement. Now we have upgraded the strategic partnership agreement into special strategic and global partnership agreement. Okay. So under Japan-India Vision 2025, we have unveiled special strategic and global partnership agreement. Yeah, an upgraded partnership, very close relationship. And Prime Minister Shinzo Abe only inaugurated the bullet train project. And for that bullet train project, Japan is giving us $16 billion. $16 billion amount. Okay. And the interest rate is, you see, 0.1%. Repayment year is 50 years. In 50 years, we have to pay back the money. After 50 years, we can give the money. Total interest is 0.1 percentage. See, even for educational loan, how much they are charging on the students? 11 to 14 percentage. But Japan is giving us this money, $16 billion. In 50 years, we have to pay at 0.1 percentage interest rate. And Shinzo Abe said that during the inauguration on the day, he announced that if India is not able to pay back, means Japan is extending another 10 years. Now it is 60 years. See, after 60 years, this $16 billion will not at all be a money for India. Easily India will pay it in a single stroke. Can understand? So Japan is helping India like this, okay? And then we have also signed a lot of defense pacts also with Japan, okay? Sharing military information, technology, equipments, etc. So write this. This is regarding bullet train project. So we are getting $16 billion loan from Japan. After 50 years, we can give it back. Now it is 60 years. Interest rate is 0.1 percentage. 0.1 percentage. Japan-India Vision 2025. That is important. Now we have upgraded to special strategic. Earlier it was, see, just a word. That means more emphasis on India-Japan relation. That is the understanding. Okay, special strategic and global partnership agreement. So in global issue and also in bilateral issue, we are close. That's the understanding. Global issue means against rising China, we are close allies. This is the understanding. Okay, and then last one. So recently only India-Japan consultation on terrorism. Against terrorism also we are partners. The fifth in Japan-India consultation with regarding terrorism was there. So we are partners against terrorism also. That you have to note it. Okay. And then this is the most important development. So Japan and India are having cooperation on development of our northeastern region. See, note that so far in India, in the history of India, independent India, we have never allowed any foreigners to enter into our northeastern states, particularly to invest there in northeastern states. For the first time in the history, we allow Japan people to come and invest in northeastern state. Already Japan is also having link. See, along with Indian National Army, Subhash Chandra Bose Army, Japan Army, both went against British and they came up to Impal. Okay, Manipur, they came up to that. But after that, because of some developments in Japan, the Japanese army was not able to continue their help to Indian National Army under Subhash Chandra Bose. Indian army finally failed. That we know. Okay, so already that means Japanese people fought along with Indians against the British people and died in northeastern states. That's the understanding. So the northeastern states are not new to Japan. That's why trusting Japan, we allow Japan to come and invest. Why means because in the northwestern frontier, Pakistan is allowing Chinese presence there. To balance that, what we are doing, we are allowing Japan's presence there in the northeastern region, which irritates China because Arunachal Pradesh is there. In that area, we are allowing Japanese elements. Arunachal Pradesh is claimed by China, no? So that's why. So Japan's presence in northeastern states is not, that means it is not going well with China. And Japan is going to sell us this US-2 amphibious aircraft. So this is regarding India and Japan. So with respect to Japan, in terms of security, Japan is our close ally. In terms of nuclear technology also, Japan is a close ally because we have signed civil nuclear cooperation agreement with Japan. And finally, in terms of economy, India and Japan are very close to each other. Okay, so this is Japan. So we'll take a small break and then we'll continue with Sri Lanka. Okay. Okay. So next topic will be, we'll start with India, Sri Lanka. So we all know that in Sri Lanka, 10 years before only, the civil war came to an end. LTT is now no more, and Sinhalese government has completely won the civil war, that we know. See, first we have to find out what is the problem in Sri Lanka. See, the problem is between the majority Sinhalese population and the minority Tamilian population, number one. And number two, mostly the Sinhalese people are Buddhist people. The Tamil population or Tamilian population, they are either Hindus, Muslims, and Christians are also there. Okay. So they doesn't like each other. It was something like the majority community wanted to completely wipe off the Tamilian community in Sri Lanka. So why this happened? And note that the Sinhalese population are Buddhist population. See, Buddhist population means they have to preach love, affection, and they are against hatredness. They are against desire. Like that only Buddhism is there. And but the Sri Lankan Buddhist, you have to note that the Buddhist monks are ultra nationalistic people. Ultra nationalistic means they will do anything in the name of Sinhalese nationalism. And they eat meat also. The Buddhist people will eat meat. This, see, in Buddhist, in culture, you will be reading two types of Buddhism are there. Upper vehicle, lower vehicle, like that some division is there. Upper vehicle means they belong to the Tibetan Buddhism. Lower vehicle, this Theravada Buddhism, the Myanmar and Sri Lankan Buddhist. And note that from India only the Buddhist is spread to Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka also. That also we know. But yet, so these people are hardcore ultra nationalist people. They say that they wanted to wipe off the Tamilian population. Because of that only problem was there. See, again the reason behind is again British people only. When British people conquered that particular island, they used the minority population against the majority population. So this Tamilian population helped the British administration in Sri Lanka. That doesn't mean that Tamil people support British. First they killed all the people, the Tamil kings, and they killed them and then eliminated all the enemies, and then only they subdued this particular population. And then using them, they controlled the majority population. Again, like what happened in Myanmar, Rohingya, similarly. Okay, what happened is during British rule in Sri Lanka, the Sinhalese people were against British. And when British vacated that island, all their hatred now turned towards the Tamil population, and who are in a very good position after British left away. Because during British regime, the education, wealth of the Tamilian population in Sri Lanka went well. So this is what happened. As a result, the Sinhalese population began to discriminate and marginalize Tamilian population, leading to the civil war. And the civil war finally came to an end in Sri Lanka with the victory of Sinhalese government. Okay. So first you see in the 3rd century BC, first group of Tamilian migration was there from India to Sri Lanka. So don't think that Tamilian people are foreign people, Sinhalese people are their native people. No, Sinhalese people also migrated from India to Sri Lanka earlier to Tamil people migration, that's all. So the Sinhalese people migrated from India from the Bengal region and Orissa region. So these people are Sinhalese people. From there only they migrated and settled. First they only settled, then Tamil people migrated. Okay. So in 3rd century BC, Tamil migration was there. The people who migrated during 3rd century BC, before Christ, you have to note that those people are called Sri Lankan Tamilians. That means they are living more than 2000 years, they are living in that island. But again in 1815, that means in the 19th century, another wave of Tamil migration was there from India to Sri Lanka. This time the British people brought the Indian Tamilians to go and work there in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, they introduced a tea plantation. To work in the tea plantation, they brought Indian Tamilians to Sri Lanka. These Tamilians who are living in Sri Lanka because of the British, they are called Indian Tamilians. This is Sri Lankan Tamilians. That means two group of Tamilians were there. But what happened is, in 1998, Ceylon, by the time it was called Ceylon, when Ceylon got independent, all the Indian Tamilians lost their citizenship. That means the people who were brought by British and settled in Sri Lanka for more than 100 years, they lost their citizenship. Like what happened to Rohingya population. and immediately a series of agreements were signed between Indian government and Ceylon government, and finally most of the Indian Tamilians were again repatriated back in India. So now there is very few people are living in Sri Lanka, Indian Tamilians. Then now there is no big distinction, okay. So the Tamil plantation workers deprived of their citizenship, and most of them again came back to India. Okay, so now there is no distinction between Indian Tamilian and Sri Lankan Tamilian. The plantation workers are they are also called Kandi Tamilians. They are in the southern part of island. But the Indian Sri Lankan Tamilian population who are living for more than 2000 years, they are living in the northern part of the island and the eastern part of the island. There only Tamil dominated population is there. Tamilian population are minority in Sri Lanka. The majority population and minority population, they doesn't like each other. So that you have to note. So this is the starting. This is where the problem starts. When British left that island, the Tamilian population were in privileged positions. That Sinhalese population doesn't like it. Okay. So what happened is, after this, in 1956, a leader named Solomon Bandaranaike, a Sinhalese guy, he became the leader of Sri Lanka. To come to power, he used Sinhalese nationalism. Sometimes political parties will rise some particular issue, using that sensation they will come to power. No, like that, the Solomon Bandaranaike used Sinhalese nationalism to come to power. And this resulted in anti-Tamil riots in 1958. Lot of Tamilian people were killed in streets. The people were humiliated, women were violated. So like that, lot of problems were there. Lot of people were killed in streets itself. This is what happened. And then in 1972, now Ceylon is now been changed to, the name is changed to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a Buddhist name. And not only that, Buddhism became the religion of Sri Lanka. Buddhism was given top priority in Sri Lankan constitution. So that means Sri Lanka is no more a secular country. Sri Lanka now have become a Buddhist country. This further alienated the Tamilian population in Sri Lanka, because Tamilian population, majority of them are Hindus, Muslims and Christians. Almost all Sinhalese people are Buddhist people. So now this has become a language problem and a religious problem. The Buddhist population were dominant. Okay, this further alienated the Tamilian population in Sri Lanka. So Sinhalese nationalism went against it. So if you touch language, means like that only it will happen. Okay, so this is what happened. And what happened is, from 1976 to 83, a series of anti-Tamil riots were there in Sri Lanka. Anti-Tamil riots. People were harassed. In retaliation to the anti-Tamil riots, in 1976, LTTE was formed. Liberation Tiger of Tamil Eelam was formed. And this organization, earlier they were rebels. Rebels means who are taking arms against the government. Later they became terrorists. Okay. So difference is that terrorist means putting bombs, innocent population will get. Rebels means they will fight against the government authorities alone. They were fighting against the government authorities, and political killings were also there during this time. And during this time in 1981, the Sinhalese policemen, they burnt the Jaffna public library. Jaffna is the important northern city, Tamil city in Sri Lanka, in the northern part of the island. The Jaffna city, one public library was there. That particular public library contained a lot of Tamil works there. All these works were burnt by Sinhalese policemen who are in uniform. So this is a clear indication that the Sinhalese population were going for ethnic cleansing, because if you wanted to eliminate one particular person means you have to destroy the history of the person. To destroy the history, first you have to eliminate or kill the culture. No culture means no history. No history means you can eliminate a person. So this is what happened. So after this only, in retaliation to that, LTT came to an understanding that these people are wanted to completely eliminate us. We want to separate Tamilam. So because of the separate Tamilam demand, 1983, first Tamilam war started. So now we have to find out how come this LTT became a big organization. Don't think that the LTT was the only organization. there were many organizations were there in Sri Lanka. Tamil organization, rebel organization. But among them, LTTE is very, very popular. Because LTTE got the complete support from India, Indira Gandhi government. Indira Gandhi government only armed LTTE, financed LTTE and trained LTTE. LTTE cadres were trained in India and then they were sent back to Sri Lanka to fight against the Sinhalese government. See, what is India's national government? I am not talking about Tamil Nadu government. This is central government of India is supporting LTTE. Why? Why means because the Sri Lankan Sinhalese government was having an understanding with China and most importantly with Pakistan. This India doesn't like. That's why India wanted to overthrow the Sinhalese regime and wanted to create an alternative power center in island. The alternative power center automatically obviously is LTTE. Already they are having a problem. India began to support the LTTE side. So during the Tamil Eelam War in 1983, India supported LTTE only. That's the understanding. In 1987, what happened is, as a part of Tamil Eelam, the LTTE had a setback. The LTTE now were confined to the city of Jaffna. And government forces have put over siege over Jaffna. So LTTE is there. This is Jaffna city. Government forces have put a siege over Jaffna city. Nothing can enter into Jaffna or come out of Jaffna without the support of, without the permission of Sri Lankan government. And the Sri Lankan forces also was not in a position to enter into Jaffna city. And LTTE were holding that particular city. And LTTE cannot hold the city for an indefinite period. Because no supply line is there. No supply line is been cut to Jaffna city. Electricity, everything is cut. Within Jaffna, what is possible, Jaffna city were surviving. So during this period in 1987, who was the Prime Minister of India? Rajiv Gandhi. See, Rajiv Gandhi also followed the footsteps of his mother, Indira Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi supported LTTE initially. So what happened is, Indian government immediately sent 2-3 ships full of aid, relief aid to the Jaffna people, because Jaffna people are suffering. This is a relief for the civilian. That means if the relief material goes to Jaffna city, means the LTTE will hold the city for more time. This is against the Sri Lankan interest. That's why the Sri Lankan Navy blocked our ship and turned it back to India. So this time Rajiv Gandhi made a decisive move. He went and airdropped all the materials in Jaffna city and our air force came back. Sri Lanka doesn't have a big air force. So that means they can't stop our air force. So Rajiv Gandhi was very determined to intervene in Sri Lankan affairs in support of the Tamilian population by supporting LTTE. So this gave a clear signal to Sri Lanka that if Sri Lankan government, Sinhalese government, is not properly taking care of the Tamilian population, means, or not solving the problem with Tamilian population, means, India will intervene in Sri Lanka. Because a decade before only, we intervened with Pakistan and divided Pakistan and Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh became an independent country. See, if we can do it against strong Pakistan, means, this Sri Lanka is not at all a big country. Okay, easily we can do it. Okay, so nobody is going to stop India. So that's why the Sinhalese government got afraid. As a result, what happened is the Sinhalese government and Indian government signed this accord. This accord is called Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. Okay. So in the same year, 29th July 1987, Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi and Sri Lankan President Jayawardene, they signed this Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. See, what is this accord? Indian government is involving on behalf of Tamilian population in favor of LTTE. Okay. So why LTTE are fighting for? They are fighting for power. Power means, see, you have to note that in the power center, in India's, where is India's power center lies? In the parliament. In the parliament, I have to directly go there. Or at least I have to send my representative there, who will raise my issues there in parliament. If this is not there, means if Tamilian people are not represented in Indian parliament, the government may take action or some policy against the interest of the Tamilian population. Like that, everybody have to be represented. This is called democracy. Otherwise, what will happen? What happened to yesterday's that news was there, no? That Ayush, that secretary is telling that if you don't know Hindi, means you quit this webinar. They are asking for all India webinar, means they have to at least use no Tamil, English, not Tamil, at least English. They are not doing it. Okay. So like that they will do something. So for rising our problems, our people should be there in the parliament. Like that, the LTT Tamilian population, because they are minorities, they were not represented. Because Sri Lanka is having a presidential form of government. The president of Sri Lanka is all-powerful guy. No one can, that means curb the powers of the president. Like that, the position was there. So, and the Tamilian population, they were not properly represented in the parliament. So that's why they dictated terms. So they are telling that at state, we want at least at state level, we wanted to rule ourselves. So Sri Lanka is a unitary country, only one government, that is Sri Lankan national government only. So this LTT were asking, initially they were asking for, that means share in power. When Sinhalese people were not ready to give that, they were asking for separate Tamilam itself. We wanted to get separated. We wanted to be a separate country like that. So that was the problem. So ultimately, because of Indian pressure, Colombo means the Sinhalese population was ready to devolve the power. Devolution means share the power with Tamilian population. That means Tamilians also will get representation. They will get their due share in the parliament and at state level. Like that, they accepted. The biggest problem is over. And then the Sri Lankan troops also will end the siege and withdraw from the northern territory. This is second. And third one, in return, the Tamil rebels, LTT, have to surrender their arms. They have to lay down their arms. Because they are being allowed to come and participate in the parliamentary process, no? Election process. Now they can't use arms. They have to lay down their arms. So these are all the three terms under Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. It's a very good agreement. Okay. So LTT is fighting for power. Power will be given. That is assured. The Sri Lankan government accepted it. And they also withdrew their army and they went to the southern part of the country. And in return, LTT have to lay down their arms. But LTT reluctantly only lay down their arms because they were not happy. Because there is one, although everything is very fine, agreement is fine, one basic flaw is there. Flaw, not a mistake, flaw is there. Because, see, in 1920s, in mid-1926, 27, I think, Simon Commission came to India. Why Indian political parties boycotted Simon? Because they are going to write a new constitution for India, but there was no Indian representation in Simon Commission. So in the Indo-Sri Lankan Accord, LTT were not represented. Number one, at least any one Tamilian should be represented here. What these two leaders were speaking, LTT did not know that. That's why they reluctantly laid down their arms. So during this time, what happened is ceasefire was there. So fighting came to an end. First Tamil War came to an end. So during this time, some of the important LTT commanders from Tamil Nadu, they were in a boat when they were coming to Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan Navy arrested them. And immediately all these LTT commanders, they consumed cyanide and then they committed suicide. Because they were afraid that the Sri Lankan Navy is going to torture them. Immediately LTT took their arms. Now Sri Lankan government is putting pressure on India that according to this treaty, I agree to share the power. I have withdrawn from the northern territory. It is India's duty to see to that LTT are laying down their arms. So now the Indian peacekeeping force who already went there in Sri Lanka to maintain the peace, now our Indian peacekeeping force, the Punjab regiment, they turned against LTT. LTT, our Indian forces were fighting with each other. Actually, we went on behalf of LTT. Now we are fighting against LTT. And our army did not taste success. I'm not telling we are defeated, but it was not a successful mission. Why? Means because our objective was to capture the LTT leaders, particularly Prabhakaran, but it was not possible. Or because of, they are telling that because of intelligence failure. LTT had a better intelligence in that, because it is their territory. That's why our forces were not able to do that. And ultimately what happened is, the Indian peacekeeping for Indian leaders, they Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. So you have to note that our commanders, they let loose our army. They said that do anything, capture LTT leader. So our army began to enter into homes, Tamilian homes, and began to threaten the people for information. some human rights violations were there. So it created a very bad name for Indian army. So this furiated the Tamilian population against Indian population. And at one point of time, what happened is the Sri Lankan government began to aid the LTT against Indian army. Why? Means because they doesn't like each other, but they don't want any third party to come and involve here. That means they want Indian peacekeeping force out of the island. As a result, what happened is in India, the defense minister in Rajiv Gandhi's cabinet, VP Singh, is resigning from the cabinet. The defense minister is resigning in India. When Indian peacekeeping mission is there on Sri Lanka, he resigns saying that Rajiv Gandhi's Sri Lankan policy is a flawed policy. Okay, so because Rajiv Gandhi, you have to note that he is a new guy. Okay, he is not used to politics. At least Rahul Gandhi is better, I think, because Rajiv Gandhi was not a politician, but his brother Sanjay Gandhi was a politician. Rajiv Gandhi was in Italy by the time, everybody know. But when Indira Gandhi was assassinated, Congress have no other way. They forcibly brought Rajiv Gandhi and made him the leader of Congress and made him the Prime Minister of India, because people will vote only for the Nehru family. So this that legacy. So now Rajiv Gandhi is not a statesman like his mother. So ultimately what happened is he listened to some of the advisors. That's why the Indian peacekeeping mission in Sri Lanka completely created very bad name for India, and the defense minister is resigning. And immediately it was followed by an election. And in that election, VP Singh wins the election. He becomes the Prime Minister of India. And first thing he did was he withdrew the Indian peacekeeping force from Sri Lanka. See, half-heartedly we went and entered other countries' problem, because we are following Panchshil principle means we should not involve in other countries' problem. Half-heartedly we intervened. Half-heartedly we supported Tamilian population and LTT. Half-heartedly we signed this agreement. Half-heartedly we were again fighting against LTT. And again half-heartedly we came out of that island. So Indian peacekeeping mission, that means Indian adventure in Sri Lanka, became a misadventure in Sri Lanka. And the Sinhalese forces also against India after this agreement, because some of the Sinhalese nationalistic forces, for example, this left-wing communist people and the Sinhalese JVP party, it is an ultra-nationalistic party, the monks, Buddhist party. They doesn't like this Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. They doesn't want to give due share, power share to Tamilian population. They were against Indo-Sri Lankan Accord. So all these people created a lot of problem. And as soon as Indian peacekeeping force came out of that island, immediately second Tamil war started. In the same year, the Sinhalese government, LTT, they resumed fight. That means we will fight and we will decide. But unitedly we will oppose India and ask India to go out of that island. So this was the understanding. Okay, and ultimately second Ilam war was. And then again what happened is in 1990, the same year, LTT and Sri Lankan Muslims had some kind of problem. Muslims means Tamil Muslims. LTT, Tamilian, it represents Tamils. But Tamil Muslim and LTT did not have understanding, because the Muslims began to say, Tamil Muslims began to say that we will not support separate Tamilam. And LTT said that who are not supporting separate Tamilam are all my enemies. So the LTT expelled all the Tamil Muslims from the northern territory, and they were forced to go and settle in the eastern part of the island. What happened between these two people? All are together only. But something happened between them. Why? Means because the Sinhalese government went and opened negotiation with Muslim population, Tamil Muslim people. They are asking Tamil Muslims why you are supporting separate Tamilam and fighting along. See, in LTT army, a lot of Muslims were there. Now the Sinhalese government is going to the Muslim population and leaders and asking them, why are you supporting separate Tamilam? Muslim population said that we people are Tamilian people and we are minorities. You Sinhalese people are discriminating us. We are because of the only reason that Tamil people are minorities. Like that, they gave a genuine answer. Next question the Sinhalese government people asked is, okay, tomorrow Sinhalese government is going to give separate Tamilam. Who will be minorities in separate Tamilam? Like that they posed the question. Immediately, again, whatever may be the case, Tamil Muslims will be minorities only. So immediately Muslims dropped supporting the demand of separate Tamilam and they said that we don't want separate Tamil Nadu. This was the reason between LTTE and Muslims. Okay. So already Tamil population are minority. Sri Lankan government simply used the divide and rule principle. They divided the people, Tamil population into two. So Muslim population here afterwards will not support separate Tamil Nadu. So what this LTT leader should have done? He should have negotiated with the leaders and assured that I am fighting for minority rights. So only we demand separate Tamil Nadu. If separate Tamil Nadu become a separate country means, then all minority rights will be preserved. Like that, he should have convinced the Muslim population, but Muslim population were expelled from the Northern Territory. So this became an added advantage to the Sinhalese government. So now the Tamil people are not together. So this is the tactics taught by British people. They will divide the people, and then they will create problem among the people, and then easily they will control both the population. So this is what happened today. So we will stop here. So we will continue in the next class. So now if you have any doubt means we can discuss. You can ask questions. Yes?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, you said about maritime boundary dispute. Actually, for how much? Yes, sir. Generally, for any countries, how many kilometers will they occupy, sir?
See, 200 nautical miles is the exclusive economic zone. If it is an open sea means, it is not a problem. See, from Kochi, it is not a problem. That side, Arabian Sea is more. It is thousands of kilometers. No issue are there. But Bay of Bengal is a closed sea. Okay, so there we had some overlapping with Bangladesh. That was settled now. Now no issue is there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Actually, with India Sri Lanka problem, why India does not take LTT to Tamil Nadu, sir? ஏன் நம்ம எடுத்துக்கல?
See now the LTT people because of the Indian peacekeeping force atrocities in the northern part of the island, they killed Rajiv Gandhi, our ex-prime minister. So now they became a terrorist organization. So Indian government is not supporting them. Instead, we began to collaborate with the Sinhalese forces to capture all the LTT leaders. That was the downfall of LTT. Okay. That we will discuss in the next class. So far, what we have discussed is Rajiv Gandhi was supporting it. Now Rajiv Gandhi went against LTT. So continuation is that. Next class we will start.
You said that Jaffna LTT is there and government does not allow to expel from Jaffna, no, sir? LTT.
Yes. No, Jaffna was under siege. Siege means government forces, Sinhalese forces surrounded Jaffna city, but they were not able to enter it. The LTT were holding the city. India gave relief material. So that means India is giving a signal to Sri Lanka that you go peace with the Tamil population, otherwise I will enter and I will divide the country. This was the warning. Okay, that's why Sri Lankan Accord was signed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, next question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my doubt regarding maritime boundary problems are between Bangladesh.
Yes.
Sir, why there is no straight line, sir? Actually, why there is no straight line?
Indian land is not straight. You can understand. See how Indian land was there. See, India is like this, V-shaped. So this is Bangladesh. Okay. So Bangladesh is claiming like this. So here means 200 nautical miles will be there. Here 200 nautical miles. This is the disputed boundary. Can you understand?
Oh, okay, sir.
From Orissa or near Bengal, if you calculate means it goes and clashes with Bangladesh boundary. That was what happened, but the award was given in favor of Bangladesh.
Okay, sir. I understand, sir. But my second doubt is regarding the verdict only, sir. Why India accept it, sir? Because India has a foreign policy towards its own national interest only, no, sir. why India accepts.
Yes. Yeah, so if you say that the national interest, see, Indian foreign policy is about Indian national interest. But if you are having a claim, means you are going for a settlement. Okay, so we have left the matter to the international court. The international court is giving a verdict based on it. It is not a biased verdict. Okay, actually, Bangladesh is asking straight line only. No, it should be Bangladesh territory only. Actually,
but it can also be our territory, no, sir, because
see, the thing is, Bangladesh have more claims than India. That is the understanding. The verdict said that this land actually belongs to Bangladesh, because see near Bangladesh coast also. See, from Kolkata, if you are demarcating a line south-east, means the entire Bangladesh maritime territory will be Indian territory, 200 nautical miles. Do you think that Bangladesh will accept to this? So there is a dispute. We went to court. Court gave a verdict. See, the judgment was impartial. Then after that, India will never say that the court is impartial. I mean, partial one. It gave verdict in favor of Bangladesh. No, not like that. Okay. So it is a judgment. Okay. This is a third party mediated it. India accepted it because that is correct. Okay. See, sometimes when the territory overlaps, means we should go for a settlement. No. And by the time Bangladesh government was also friendly. So we accepted the verdict and we moved according to that. That means what you are telling is, if you are going to a court for some problem, if the court is giving a judgment against you, you are telling that in my interest I won't accept it. That you can't do, no? That you should do before going the court. When you accepted, your case is accepted in the court. After that, what court says, you have to accept that only. You can't go against that. So international order is like that. For that only international court is been given. So international court looked into that particular issue and then they tried to sort out the problem and they gave a verdict. India lost something. At the same time, you can't go and claim their territory, no? Can you understand? Okay, so we accepted for that. Okay, otherwise India, Bangladesh will be always be enemy country and Bangladesh will do everything against India. To avoid that, India accepted it. Okay, it is a settlement. We were given opportunity to give our side. Okay, after the arguments only, court is giving a verdict. So we accepted court verdict because India is a genuine country. China did not accept it because it is a strong country and a rogue country.
Okay, sir.
Just understand. Yes.
I understood. Sir, my another doubt is, can you explain about can you explain about Sri Lankan Tamilians, sir? Why they go to
Tamilians went from Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka 3rd century BC, 2000 years before. During the Chola period. Chola period, we went on Chola, Pandya, Chera. During that particular period, old Chola period and all, we went and occupied Sri Lankan island, no? Frequently there was a war, no? So during this period, lot of Tamilian people went and settled in Sri Lanka. These people are called Sri Lankan Tamilians. During British regime also, we went and settled there. Some group of people. These people are called Indian Tamilians. Indian Tamilians were repatriated back. Sri Lankan Tamilians, they are now in Sri Lanka.
Okay, sir. During Chola period means during Rajaraja Chola,
Rajaraja Chola belongs to 1000 AD.
Okay.
I am telling about 3rd century BC. Old Chola period. Karikalan, that Chola period. Chola, Pandya, Chera. Before Sangam period.
Okay.
Rajaraja Chola belongs to 1000 AD. These people are called later Cholas, medieval Cholas or later Cholas. I am talking about ancient Tamil people.
Okay, sir. That's my question, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next question. Yes. Next question. Yes. Next question.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding that Rohingya issue. You said that they are Bengali-speaking Muslims who migrated from Bangladesh to Myanmar during.
I never used the word Bangladesh. From Bengal, British India's Bengal region. Now Bangladesh.
Okay. That Bengal region. For example, if Myanmar is not accepting them, the same time Myanmar also expelled some people from India. Like for example, some Tamil Nadu people also went to Burma during a
We are
British
aliens.
period.
No? Yes, we were aliens, and we people lent. We were basically money lenders. Can understand?
They went
At the time. Tamil
during
people were
this.
basically money lenders.
That is the reason why they, after this Myanmar independence, they came back to India because they were denied citizenship, and there's a Burma Bazaar also in Chennai.
Yes,
Like
Burma
the way
Bazaar for
why,
the laborers. Yes.
Why can't Bangladesh now give back the citizenship? Because if no country accepts people, these people means where they will go.
Yes. So okay. So this is you are asking this question in humanity and humanitarian point of view. So India is a big country. Tamil people went and settled there. Tamil people belongs to Tamil Nadu. So Indian government accepted some people. So even lot of Burmese people by the time and all they did not get Indian citizenship quickly. Okay, so because they were being under some kind of stress, Indian government immediately accepted them because we are a big country. India is having that kind of mind. That's why we accepted it. But the Bangladesh, today's Bangladesh is a poor country. Okay, now more migration population is coming. Means where you will go and accommodate them? Already I said if you accept migration population means where they will go and settle. They will make the local population's salary down. Already I have given example, no? So that's why the Bangladesh people, when they're already in trouble, when they're already fighting for resources, more dense populated territory, less resources, and frequently affected by flood, cyclone, and earthquake. So already the country is under trouble. Now more population is coming, means they will not allow it. The local population and the newly coming population, they will fight with each other. To avoid that, Bangladesh government is not accepting it. Indian government have no reason to accept this Rohingya population. Myanmar is telling these are not our people. These people came because of the British people. So the people who took them there only have to take the responsibility. That is British. British, they said that we gave independence, it is up to you. Like that they are not taking responsibility. So that's why this Rohingya population now have become a stateless people. They doesn't have a soil to live, land to live. This is the problem.
Okay.
Okay,
so
but Burma people, Indian, Tamil Nadu state, by the time I am telling this is before 50 years. No, by the time it is very vast territory. Population was not like this 1.3 billion population. It was just 30 crore population. More place was there. More resources was there. We accommodated everyone. So that means what I am telling is India was more generous than what Bangladesh was today. That's the answer.
Okay, if no country accepts them, finally, is there any international rule or convention to?
Yes, this is international convention is there. According to the Geneva Convention for Stateless People, nobody in this world should be stateless. Somebody have to take them. But since this population is a burden, nobody is taking it. See, for example, if Albert Einstein is coming to India and asking for refugees, do you think that India will say no? See, Albert Einstein already is a refugee only. Which country he actually belongs?
Germany.
He's a European Jew, but came to US. US immediately took him because he's a scientist. He will contribute to our society. Immediately will take them. But if you are taking a person who is uneducated, no skills, no discipline. Discipline means the society have to discipline the people. No, since these people were living in boats. These people will not they are not properly civilized. So nobody have that particular courage to take them and civilize them. You can understand.
Okay.
So this is the problem. See, if I am a skilled person, means if I go to any country, people will take me. I will get easy visa. I will even get a green card in that particular country. But if I don't know anything, I am a liability to that particular country. I am a burden to the country. Means those people will not be given citizenship or the refugee or whatever it is. This is the problem. If they can contribute to the country, means immediately they will say yes. If they are a burden, means then all the country will close their doors. This is what happens normally. This is what happened in Europe also to the Syrian refugees. See, India, earlier we have taken Parsis. Parsis were, they are native of Iranians. They are Iranians only. Because of the change in history, that means the government set up in Iran, these Parsis came and settled in India. But initially they came and settled in Gujarat. But the people, they came through Gujarat only. But Indian kings were not able to take them. Later, all these Parsi people promised India that If you allow me into your country means I will contribute for the country. Till now they are contributing. Ratan Tata, all these big shots and all Parsi people only. So can you understand? Only when people will accept foreigners means only when they are beneficial to us. If I am already we are densely populated country, in our region no resource is available or less resource available, less employment is available, more people are coming for and trying to occupy this resource and employment means fight will come. That's why nobody will accept them. Bangladesh is suppose Bangladesh is a very rich country means maybe Bangladesh may accept it. Okay. Okay, any other question? Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt that this Sri Lankan Tamilians, they had citizenship.
Yes, they had citizenship, but
So they doesn't have this.
Sri Lankan Tamilians, they had their citizenship, but they were discriminated by the national government. Can you understand?
Okay, so they didn't have representation and all.
See, because these people are minorities. Minorities means federation only will work. See, suppose in India there is no state government, only Indian government means definitely in the Indian Parliament the North Indians will be majority. The South Indian who speak another languages will get into trouble. That's why what in India happened is we will divide the people based upon some kind of languages. Like that only language based, linguistic based states were created, and we are a federation. Everybody have power. We have our due share in parliament. Can you understand? So in a multi-ethnic society, particularly minority are there means federation only will work nicely. At least in state level they can look after themselves, no? At least for everything. Otherwise the Tamil people have to look upon the Sinhalese population, Sinhalese parliament. Sinhalese parliament will never do anything to the Tamil population. This only led to this war, civil war. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
The next question.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I did not understand the Teesta River issue, sir.
Teesta River origins in Sikkim Kanchenjunga mountain.
Yes, sir.
And after passing through Sikkim, it enters into West Bengal. Then it enters into Bangladesh. But what Indian government, West Bengal government, state government have done is they have built a lot of dams there, and they are not allowing the Teesta River water to enter into Bangladesh region. Instead, they diverted the water into Bay of Bengal. West Bengal. Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
So Bangladesh Teesta River is going dry. Before the water enters into Bangladesh, we have diverted the water. So Bangladesh want a settlement like Ganga water. So let us have an agreement, India and Bangladesh. We will share the Teesta River water 50-50 rotational base. Okay, like that they are, but West Bengal government is not ready. So central government and West Bengal government is having an issue. Manmohan Singh government itself had an issue. That continues now also.
Okay, sir. So my another doubt is about.
Now China is giving loan to Bangladesh to build a dam in Teesta River inside Bangladesh. That means China is also involving now. So that is the latest news.
So my next doubt is about India and Sri Lanka relations, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in 3rd century BC, Tamil, you said that Tamil migrations from India to Sri Lanka, those were called Sri Lankan Tamilians, sir.
Yes.
Now LTT and Sri Lankan Tamilians are same.
Yes, see, majority of the Tamilian population in Sri Lanka, they are all Sri Lankan Tamilians who went and settled in Sri Lanka 2000 years before. During British rule also, they brought some of the Indian laborers, Tamil Nadu laborers to work in the tea plantation. They were again sent back to India.
Okay.
You understand?
So now the issue is between Sri Lankan and the Muslims. Means Sri Lankan LTTs and Muslims.
Sri Lankan?
that one is
LTT,
LTT and Muslim.
yes, they had some misunderstanding. Why means because the Sri Lankan government created a wedge between the Tamil Muslims and the other Tamils, particularly the LTT.
Okay.
Because telling that even separate Tamilam becomes a separate country, Muslim people always will be minority only. So the Muslim population thought that whatever may be the case, we are going to be minority. Then why support Tamilam? Like that, they took a opinion. That's why this created a problem between LTT and the Sri Lankan Tamil Muslims. Okay.
Sir, and Indo-Sri Lankan Accord, sir.
Yes.
The treaty which was signed on that one.
That treaty was signed between Indian government, Indian Prime Minister and Sri Lankan President. LTT was
Yes,
not
sir.
represented. Or any one Tamilian should be there in that particular treaty. What these two leaders,
Yes, sir.
this is a treaty between party number 1 and party number 3. The problem is between party 1 and 2. So on behalf of 2,
Yes,
3
sir.
went and signed a deal with 1 without bringing 2 into the discussion. So that is not correct. It is a blunder.
Sir, and one more, you told that what is that? In India and Japan relationship, you you told the relation that US is the 4th place, and you do a triangle, no, sir? Means
India, Australia, US, and Japan, 4 countries are there.
Quad.
It is called Quad.
Can you show that? Can you show that slide, sir?
See, that is what is there to? Just draw one diagram. You want that diagram or you wanted that particular slide?
Yes, sir.
Diagram or slide?
Diagram, sir.
Diagram,
sir. Yes,
diagram.
Sir.
This is US. This is sorry.
Yes, sir.
This is Japan. This is US. This is Australia.
Yes, sir.
And this is India. So these 4 countries today
Yes,
are having relationship with each other. Finally, Quad was formed.
Yes, sir.
Japan US was the first link of the Quad. US Australia was the second link.
Yes, sir.
Japan Australia were the third link. India US was the 4th link. India Japan was the 5th link. When India and Australia signed civil nuclear deal, 6th link was also established. The Quad completed. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir.
Quad means
India US is the 4th link, sir.
Is having relationship with all the other 3. That's the understanding.
Yes. So these Quad countries are having a relation on Malabar also, no, sir?
Malabar exercise is actually a naval exercise between India and US. Now Japan joined. Now
Yes,
Australia
sir.
also joined. So literally, this is all Quad countries are there in Malabar exercise. Not only Quad countries, Southeast Asian countries. Sometimes Vietnam will join. Sometimes Singapore will join. So actually, Malabar exercise is a naval exercise between India and US. Now joined by other Quad members.
Yes, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
சார் இப்போ என்னோட டவுட் என்னன்னா இந்திரா காந்தி தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து ஸ்ரீலங்கா வந்து பாகிஸ்தான் சைடும் சைனா சைடும் போறதுனால ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அதை இது பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சப்போர்ட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. ராஜீவ் காந்தி அதை கண்டினியூ பண்ணாரு. ஆனா இதுல ஃபிளா எங்க ஆகுதுன்னா ஏன் சார் அதை இன்டர்வியூ பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சாரு ராஜீவ் காந்தி?
ஏன்னா ஏன் அது ஃபிளாவ் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா இந்தியாவோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வந்து தமிழ் பீப்புளை காப்பாத்துறதுக்கோ எல்டிடியை காப்பாத்துறதோ நம்ம இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இல்லை. நம்மளோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் the Sri Lankan island should not go into the hands of or under the influence of China or Pakistan. So adukku dhaan nama ponom. So what we did is to counter the Sinhalese forces, we supported LTT, but not out of the love of LTT or the Tamilian population. Can you understand? So when the Sinhalese forces itself, Sinhalese people itself is having an understanding with India, the LTT thought that we are neglecting LTT. That's why the problem started. Can you understand?
ஓகே சார். சார் இப்போ விபி சிங் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் வித்ரா பண்ணிக்கிறாருல்ல சார், இப்போ 2009ல தானே சார் வார் முடிஞ்சது. அப்போ அந்த டைம்ல திரும்பி இந்தியன் ஆர்மி உள்ள போகுமா சார்?
வித்ரா பண்ணது வந்து 2009ல வித்ரா பண்ணது வந்து எப்பனா 1989 90ல. அதுக்கப்புறம்
அதான் சார் அப்ப வித்ரா பண்றாங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் திரும்பி இந்தியன் ஆர்மி போகுமா கேக்குறேன் சார்.
இல்ல, இந்தியன் ஆர்மி வித்ரா பண்ணியாச்சு. அந்த இந்தியன் ஆர்மி அங்க ஸ்ரீலங்கால இருக்கும்போது we did lot of atrocities, excess. Okay, military disciplined army, when it is let loose means they'll do atrocities. So finally what happened is in 1991 Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated in India by the LTT. So now what happened is Indian government turned again. After that Congress government was there. So out of the Rajiv Gandhi's assassination sympathy wave, they came to power with full majority. So we went against LTT and we began to collaborate with Sinhalese forces to against LTT. So as a result LTT lost their support. They did this blunder and finally they were eliminated. This is what happened.
சார் ஆனா அபிஷியலா சொல்லலாமா சார் நம்ம இப்போ எல்டிடி தான் அசாசினேட் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு?
எல்டிடி தான் அசாசினேட் பண்ணாங்கன்னு அஃபிஷியலா சொல்லல. ஒரு அந்த எல்டிடி had a official political spokesman. His name now he is no more. He died before itself, before the end of the civil war. His name was Anton Balasingham. That guy during an interview in an interview to a press, that the news that the convener, the guy who was asking question, he said like this: Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. That's all. He did not ask anything. His LTT never took responsibility, but this guy asked Anton Balasingham, Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. Anton Balasingham replied, it was regrettable. ஓகேங்களா? regrettable means வருத்தம் அளிக்கிறது, like that. அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? நாங்க ஏதோ ஒரு அவசரத்துல கொண்டுட்டோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஆனா நான் தான் பண்ணணும்னு LTT never said, but it is a open secret. They only did that.
Okay sir.
So they did that too in Indian soil, that too in Tamil Nadu. They lost the support from India, and because of Rajiv Gandhi's assassination many people got political mileage. Best example Jayalalitha. Before that Jayalalitha is a unknown person. So by the time Congress and ADMK had an alliance, so Jayalalitha came to power. After that Jayalalitha became popular. Otherwise Jayalalitha will never have a political mileage in Tamil Nadu. Can understand? Congress also again regained its popularity. Out of the sympathy wave, all Congress people again they got elected. So to maintain that, they always went against LTT, and not only that, they did not hear to the problems of the Tamil people also. So we will continue in next class. Don't worry. Then.
சார் அப்புறம் இன்டர்வியூல தமிழ்நாட்டுல இருந்து போனாலே பர்டிகுலரா இத பத்தி ஏதாவது நம்மள ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணி கேக்குறாங்க சார், அதுக்கு எந்த மாதிரி சார் சமாளிக்கிறது?
அது நான் நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல நான் சொல்றேன். கண்டிப்பா you will be asked the question. Next class we will discuss that.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
Then next.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, I have two questions, sir. First
yes.
one is, you said that Punjab regiment was used peacekeeping was used as a peacekeeping force in Sri Lanka, sir.
Yes.
Sir, could that be if they had used Madras regiment means atrocities would not have committed, then no more problem between.
See, what happened is you have a wrong idea. See, earlier to 1957, the British Army was there in British Indian Army. By the time Punjab regiment means Punjab only people. Madras regiment means Madras only people. Like that it was there. So if see, for example, just imagine Punjab regiment only. You have one regiment in our army means. Suppose Punjab and the central government are having an understanding means, which side the Punjab regiment will support?
Central government.
Okay, so Madras, so Tamil Nadu and central government always doesn't like each other. Madras regiment is there. If Madras regiment solely consists of the Tamil Nadu or South India people, means which side this regiment will support? They will go against central government. That's why what happened is after 1857, in history you will be reading this. The name only will be Punjab regiment, but in that all the population will be there. Can you understand? That means the soldiers from all parts of the country will be there in Punjab regiment. The soldiers from all parts of the country will be in Madras regiment. See, the British government itself changed it after 1857 revolt, because for one area alone those people alone form a regiment, means then in support of that particular area they may revolt against the government. So that's why Indian government is also continuing like this. So some people will be Punjabi people in Punjab regiment, but half of the more than half of the I don't know the exact proportion, but Punjab regiment majority numbers will be from other parts of the country, but name will be Punjab regiment. Can you understand? Okay, so there is no question of if Madras regiment goes means we will be supporting Tamil Eelam. No such question is there. This is the wrong assumption, because in some TV debates they did like that, okay, without knowing the fact. Okay, Madras regiment means, don't think that in Madras regiment everybody will be from Madras state, that means Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka. No. Okay, so most of the people will be us, but other population also will be there, so that that particular regiment will not revolt against the main army. Can you understand? The Mangal Pandey, it was a soldiers issue only, no? Because they all the people were together, that's why they were revolted. After that they shuffled all the regiments, but they retained their name. Okay, next question. Can you able to understand what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
All the regiments are now shuffled, but name is same. That's the answer.
Okay, sir. Sir, my next question is, sir, if some people have some cultural relation or some historical background with India, means India is supporting. For example, minorities in Pakistan as well as in Sri Lanka, means because they have gone from India. But in case of Rohingyas, since they are gone from the present day Bangladesh, India is not supporting. Could that be taken like that, sir?
Yes, that is true. What you say is true only, true statement. Okay, they did not go from any Indian territory. They have now gone from East Pakistan, then Bangladesh territory. That's why we are not actually liable to take those people. This is India's argument. If Bangladesh is not taking it, means then why we have to take it? This is what India is telling.
Okay, sir. So if some minority people are residing in another country, having some background in India, means then if some harm is coming to them, means then Indian government has the responsibility. No, sir. They can act. No, sir. So
that's why we are taking it. The CAA Act, CAA amendment, the Citizenship Amendment Act is there, no? That is regarding that only. Hindu population, Hindu, Christian, Sikhs, Parsis, except Muslims, other Sikhs, Buddhist, all these people, if they are being prosecuted in Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, means they can get citizenship from India. Like that they passed it. Now the problem is why you have excluded Muslims. If you add Muslim, any Pakistani can apply for Indian citizenship. Definitely terrorist people also will apply along with that. That's why India rejects. So this is the problem. Can you understand? So some Indian origin people means India will accept it. So even without the Citizenship Amendment Act, a separate procedure is there. But Citizenship Amendment, the new Amendment Act will quicken that particular process. That's the understanding. Okay?
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then, hold on.